Right guys, welcome back. You can't fucking talk over me as soon as you start. Welcome back to the M&MH podcast, music and mental health. Today we are joined by Chris Leedham from Dharma. How are you?
Yeah, not bad.
All good?
Yeah.
I'm alright mate, sound.
Didn't know your second name then, to be fair. I was like,
What?
didn't know your second name then. I was like, Chris.
Oh, right, so
I did pronounce you right, didn't I?
Yeah,
Just
smashed
fucking
it.
Leedham, I was going to say, yeah.
Okay.
I've only known you 3 years.
Yeah.
That's,
Year and a half?
two.
Maybe. So if you don't know, Chris is lead singer in a band called Dharma. Doing quite well, and yeah, like
We have a go.
Spotify numbers are good.
Yeah, we have a go.
Life's
Go.
good. Gig tickets are good. Very much someone who's prominent on the music scene locally, I suppose, in Birmingham. Yeah, like
Definitely well known.
I suppose if someone was to name a top five, like the current bands in Brum, you're probably in there, yeah. Maybe fifth, like, but
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that myself, but that's very nice of you to say.
no, I'd say you're up there. I'd say
Definitely
like,
mate, if we were told to name the top three bands, you'd be in it. Like.
yeah.
That's very nice. Man, I feel really uncomfortable now.
That bandana's making me
Pressure's
uncomfortable,
on.
bro.
Yeah, well, I didn't actually know this was going to be video, so I'm halfway here, and you was
That's
like,
right, it's
we'll
excuses,
get the
isn't it?
video out, and I was just like, I've got a fucking bandana in my ass.
I'm pretty sure I got the same clothes on I had on the fucking last one.
I've got the same, to be fair, same. So let's go into your earliest memory of music. So when was the first time, maybe as a 3 or 4 year old, that you heard something and you realised it was different to TV or?
Regards to like early days, I suppose the first CD I listened to was in my dad's car, and it was Meatloaf.
Nice.
It's a great way to start, that is.
Bat Out of Hell, yeah. And I just remember 2 out of 3 Ain't Bad, obviously Bat Out of Hell, and I'd Do Anything for Love.
Yeah.
Them 3 tunes.
But you won't do that.
We just wouldn't do that. But yeah, I just remember those 3 tunes. Me and my brother just proper loved them, and we just. My dad must have got fed up because being a kid as well, we just wanted everything on repeat. We was just like, play that one again, play that one again, play that one again. So played them to death. So yeah, that was probably where it started really.
Yeah.
And there was also just trying to think what else, because he had like had a bit of a mix on a CD that he'd done.
Okay.
Simply Red was on there as well.
Oh yeah, it's been a
Yeah,
cool. We like it.
That was.
Is that your inspiration for your haircut?
Yeah, that's why I've gone for this colour. That's it, yeah. So yeah, I'd say that's where it really started. My dad's car. Yeah.
Nice, man. So I take it wasn't a musical family. There wasn't instruments around. Just mainly like car music and.
Yeah. To be fair, it wasn't. So my dad tells me used to play a lot of instruments back in school and everything when he was growing up, but never really pushed that onto me or anything, so I never really knew about that.
Okay.
But yeah, so he tells me he was good. I just haven't heard that myself yet.
Because from what I know about you, I think you've mentioned to the past, like you started like playing music quite late, didn't you?
Yeah.
So who was the? I imagine this will be like early secondary school. I'm taking you to now. Like, when was the first time you felt like you had your band, or you felt like you had music that it was yours, and you was proud of it, and
what with regards to stuff that I.
Like listen to like whether your mate told you about.
Whether you found like an artist who you kind of went, right, that is my artist.
Oh, that's good. It's going to surprise you. It's going to be completely different to anything that you would expect. But it was actually probably like 14, 15 years old listening to Kano.
Okay.
Really?
Massive on growing.
No
yeah.
way, mate.
Massive on growing.
And that the guy from Top Boy? Is that Kano?
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, literally like that was the first genre of music I proper got involved in. And like Kano, there was obviously like Wiley and stuff around then.
Yeah,
and
Crept Conan back then as well, and all that
yeah,
sort of
yeah.
stuff.
It was like
Fair play.
it was when Chip was called Chipmunk and he
Yeah,
was like 16. I remember seeing him on this like Fire in the Booth doing this. I forgot what it was called now, but it was like I just remember listening and just loving how well everything flowed and just the feeling it gave you. Like when they said certain lines that was really cool and good metaphors and
witty
stuff like
and stuff as well. Like,
and I think that was the first kind of group of artists that I.
Did that kind of come from a friendship group sort of thing? Was that like?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that was kind of the main music that me and a couple of my friends was listening to.
Yeah. So see, Cannock you grew up.
Yeah.
So, I don't think I've ever been. So, what is it like? So, is there? I take it there's not really many pubs that have got like open mics on, or
Nah.
Don't really stumble into people doing music day to day, like.
No, definitely not. Growing up and stuff, there wasn't really any bands that I used to go and see or anything from round Cannock. So yeah, there wasn't that much of a music scene that I knew of anyway. But then again, I wasn't looking for it at that point.
Did you have other passions then? Was there like football, or was there...
Yeah, I was massive into football. Yeah.
Scumbag.
We can talk about that more this year, can't we?
Yeah, we can at the moment. I'll still get you back, don't worry. Still get you back.
But yeah, football, mate. Growing up, always playing football through from like...
Did you play?
6 years old. No, I don't know.
No, but did you?
Yeah,
you were a pretty left winger with like orange boots on, bandana on, airband.
Absolutely. Did you play left wing?
Yeah.
Did you play left wing?
Don't want to get your knees dirty.
Yeah, started left wing, loved to step over. Absolutely.
Yeah,
my mates to this day.
Bet you did.
My mates to this day.
You do it on stage now, don't you? Hopping over the synth pad.
So yeah, proper left winger, and then they tried to convert me to a left back, and yeah, just weren't for me. Don't like defending. Prefer being up top, you know.
Yeah, get the goals.
Get the goals.
They get the goals on the bench.
Didn't get the goals.
I know what you mean. I'm shaped more like a football than I've ever kicked onto.
So this leads me on to, when was it that music became a thing that either you tried to do, or you was aware of, like maybe a mate starting a band, or is this coming into like college time then? Is this quite late, or?
Yeah, after it's like this was like it was after sixth form that I went to.
Okay, so 17, 18.
Like more 20.
Really?
20, yeah, really.
So
late.
really late then.
Yeah, really late. And that was more just being more interested in listening to bands, if you like that kind of indie music.
Is this where you found 1975? I take it, or
this was like yeah. So it was just before then. I was like, my brother was loving kind of like all Joy Division and everything, like new romantic music and stuff like that. And that's when I started taking an interest in that. Then going to festivals and things, I went to a festival to watch a grime artist. I'd be like, yes.
Oh, okay.
I think M&M headlined the festival, and I was like, I'm going to watch M&M. And then I just started obviously seeing all the other bands playing. I was like, actually, I really like the way this music makes me feel as well.
Yeah, of course.
1975 was obviously a massive thing as well,
Yeah.
because that was the first band that I started like.
Was that first album? Was that like Chocolate? And...
It was a ridiculously
it was before the first album. To be fair, it was when they had done like the EP.
Did you catch them like when they were doing like? Because obviously, Falling for You, and that was before the album, wasn't it? In that sort of realm.
Yeah.
Those EPs are untouchable. Like, you had was it the Milk EP? No, Milk was a bonus track.
Milk was a bonus track on You.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
But yeah, there was like Face Down, Sex EP.
Yeah.
But yeah, that had all them, and some of my favourite 1975 tracks are off before the album. So like a lot of them got put onto the deluxe version of the first album. And like probably one of my top 3 1975 tunes is You, which was
such a great track.
Deluxe one, yeah.
That's cool.
So yeah, that's really when I decided I want to make music like this. I think I don't know. I felt like there was almost if you look at like the way he makes his lyrics and things like that, and the way he delivers them, it's almost like a bit of a rap kind of element to it in some of the songs,
especially in some of the newer stuff. I've noticed that quite a lot.
Yeah, it happens quite a lot in the new stuff.
He does flow really well. He does kind of flow like a grime artist.
Like, have you seen you've heard Menswear?
Yeah.
That was one I was just like, wow. And then I decided that's it. I didn't know an instrument at this point, so it's like I'm gonna just buy an instrument and start going with it from there. Really.
So what did you start with instrument wise?
Keyboard.
Did you?
Yeah. I like. I always like the piano. Like whenever I seen anyone playing a piano and everything, I just thought that just looked so cool, and I just love to be able to play it. So I bought that. I just bought a cheap one, the same one I've still got now, which you've played on. It's not the best, like it's a bit shit, but
does the job.
Does the job, yeah. And from there, I just decided to like teach myself really. At first, I was kind of like I didn't want to learn through music theory. I just wanted to watch things on YouTube and just try and teach myself songs that I liked and that. And then obviously, I got bored of playing Twinkle Twinkle.
One of the songs you like, is it?
Yeah, I will still play it like now. And then I decided to start writing my own songs through it. I still at this point did not know. So was this
pre-band as well? Like you didn't know Jonah and everyone either? Like
no, this was pre-band. So I just was in my room on a keyboard, just starting to try and write very simple songs. I didn't even know what key I was playing.
I've got pictures of like, you know, Ross in Friends when he shows like the group like his sound and he's got like all these animal sounds and helicopters. Was that you, bro? Like,
yeah, I'm lying about the 1975. That was my influence.
I think it was a lot of people's influence, to be fair.
So yeah, that started, and I wrote a couple of just like stripped back tunes. They were really quite personal. There wasn't even really like any metaphors or anything. It was just storytelling. I remember my brother just listening to them.
They're still good now. Like, do they hold up, or would you look back on them and go, "Oh, they're awful now"? Like, or...
No, I'd say so. I'd say it's refreshing to play them sometimes.
Oh, okay,
like,
yeah.
Really, that's cool. Because everything I ever wrote was like dog shit. As in, like, I wouldn't.
Could that be because we started so early?
Could.
I know. It's not. It's his mom. So, where was we? Back to the old song. So,
yeah.
Could this be because we started so early? There's a lot of shit to flush out. Where I suppose you could already write about, I suppose, mature themes and.
Nah.
You ever been artistic? Like, did you like write poetry for fun, or was you a drawer, or was there anything like that you could maybe like draw?
Used to love like poetry and everything. Actually, we missed a big part of this.
Oh, okay, go back there.
Yeah. So, when I was in the grime phase,
you didn't? Did you have a grime?
What was your name?
Just Leedham.
That's sick.
Yeah. So, I used to literally
amazing.
write.
You used to write to beat.
Yeah, I used to make songs and stuff. I literally had
You still spit a bit now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you reckon?
Oh yeah.
Definitely, yeah. That's for another time.
Yeah,
a few beers I'll show you. Yeah. But I've shown Darius before and I've been drunk. Like, ask him, he'll tell you.
Darius said, like, I'm going to use that for my 5th stage. And then, like, you're coming in, bro, you're joining the band. Hugh next to Ollie Bedworth. Like.
Yeah, so I did that. I think I made about 9 or 10 songs just on a laptop, and I just had like a SingStar mic.
Oh, okay.
Just like, recorded into that and did that.
So you were still, like, obviously you mentioned that you started late, but creating was still something that was obviously quite apparent. Like, you still felt like you needed to create then, like...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, massively. So, although this kind of genre of music I'm doing started late, that, as far as creativeness and everything, that's...
Do you reckon it helped?
But definitely, I think if you look at some of them, I remember when you was trying to cover Devils before.
Yeah.
And you saying, fucking hell, man, how wordy is this? And I think a lot of my songs are quite wordy.
Yeah. But your phrasing's quite good though, isn't it? So if there's a passage that's say that long, like, you'll dot it in quite precisely, and it's one of them things where you couldn't attack it late or early. Like, you've got to be on that money. Like, you do it quite well, don't you? Like,
yeah. Well, thank you. I try to. Yeah.
Just making conversation.
Do you like? So, are you quite meticulous with your wording, or is it just it's out? That's it on the paper, done. Don't come back to it, or do you take your time?
Oh no, I'm terrible. Like, I'll write like a draft, and I'll probably write a song in half an hour, like lyrically. But for example, we've got a song now that we've recorded, done. I'm not happy with the lyrics, and like I've still got to go back in to do the backing vocals, and I've just said to our producer, I'm just like, no, I'm going to redo these lyrics, redo this and that. Yeah. I'm like, that's the main thing for me. Like, I can't. That keeps me up at night. If like a lyric's not right, I'm there just trying to rewrite a lyric.
That's a good thing, though. I don't think that's necessarily.
Well, we're quite flippant, if we really.
We'll kind of just write, and it's there. It is. I might change the odd word, and that's probably over the course of a week when I've just gone back to the song. But because how I usually write, I'll play the song 2 or 3 times in the day, and then I probably won't touch it again for a month. Yeah. Like, I'm quite flippant like that, but it's interesting to hear someone take that effort to go through each lyric and again, you've fully recorded a song and you still want to go back and change it.
So, for instance, for me, because the other members of Dharma will like write, say, like chord progressions and stuff, won't they? So your job is mainly like lyrics and melody, isn't it?
Yeah.
I suppose you take a similar approach to when you used to make beats and then like spit over them. Like, we come from a thing where really, if we don't supply the chord progression behind what we're doing, we struggle to put melodies in place, don't we? Really.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose maybe because you come from that background of like using another beat, like maybe I suppose you've learnt to write through like other people's music, haven't you? So is that something you feel like is a skill of yours, or?
Yeah, 100%. Like, if I've got an instrumental, I'd say I can write a pretty good melody and pretty good lyrics out of the top of it. Like with regards to you saying you flushed all like the shit out early outdoors, like the keyboard songs I was writing now, I'd say still hold up and the good and they're quite personal. But like when it came to actually writing songs for the band, I tried to probably try and be a bit cool with what I was saying.
Try too hard at times.
And like some of like the some of the early stuff, alright, were really shit. So
Yeah.
like in the sense of writing songs for Dharma,
Yeah.
it definitely has come on a long way from like some of the stuff that has never been heard, and even some of our earlier songs I'd probably say as well. So.
Would you ever go back and revisit the old songs, like from when you were on those keyboard days, or?
Yeah, it's something I've toyed with quite a lot, to be fair.
Yeah.
And I was playing them the other night, just for my flatmates.
Yeah.
And they was just like saying how like nice the works were, quite personal and quite different for everything. So I think it is something I would like to do.
It's kind of the vision I've got in my head is obviously Matty wrote, is there somebody who can watch you? Like that's the sort of vibe I'm getting from you. Is it that sort of that kind of stuff, or?
Probably, yeah. No, I'd written these songs on the keyboard before I'd heard someone who can watch it.
Yeah.
But yes, I'd say that is kind of
Like
thing.
that sort of
like,
headspace.
Yeah, that sort of like capturing that vibe, because it is very, very personal of a song. It's like, it's here, isn't it? It's like, it's in your face. It's very stripped back. And have you heard it?
No, I haven't.
Mate, it's just a beautiful track.
Okay.
But
yeah, it's nice, yeah.
it is literally just him and a piano, and you can hear. It was recorded in his bedroom, wasn't it? And
Yeah, I
because you
think
can
so,
hear
yeah.
people in the background, can't you? You can hear people shouting and stuff.
Yeah, it's about
It's about his
him
brother,
not being there for his brother.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
He's
throughout
got-
because
okay,
obviously his mum and dad had problems and all that kind of stuff, and I think it's just about
Mm.
that from that personal aspect. And yeah,
So how did you go from writing 8 to 10 tracks on a keyboard in your room to Dharma? Like, was the transition seamless, or was there bands beforehand that you tried to start, or was it happy coincidence? Or
no, I've only ever been in Dharma.
okay,
So a good friend of mine was a singer in a band, and then that kind of split up, and half of them wanted to start a new band, and then he asked me because he'd heard like a few of my songs and stuff like that, and he says like, would you be interested in coming and playing the synth and just bringing songs and writing songs for us and stuff? And at the time I was just like, yeah, why not?
it's cool that he thought that highly of you to kind of know that you could do it without, I suppose, real proof. Like, had you played any gig at this point? Like, take you've never played a show, like
nothing like that. I'd only ever played in my bedroom.
really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So, like, to be fair, I still couldn't play like the keyboard or anything at the time
Yeah.
properly. I'd learned certain
Yeah,
things
yeah.
and that. So our first gig that we ever played, I was like there still with like letters on the synth. So,
Nice.
so there at the back.
Was it your
So
synth, or
cool.
did they supply the synth?
No, it was mine.
Oh, okay.
It was mine.
So-
That
Well,
keyboard
yeah.
you've got at home still?
No. This was like another synth we bought when we went into
No.
music. I can't take that thing. It's huge, man.
So when was the what was the first gig, and when was it yearly? Like,
First gig must have been 2017.
That's not
So-
long ago, man. That's only
4
years.
No.
okay, where was it?
Flapper.
Nice.
That's
Yeah.
a cool venue to start at, to be fair.
So I wasn't singing at this point. I was just literally just playing the synth.
Was it a similar sort of sound to the Dharma?
Yeah.
It was still Ladama.
Yeah,
No,
wasn't
it was Dharma.
but
Yeah.
just with the
Ladama.
singer.
It was still Dharma. The band was Dharma.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then it was later on I became the singer.
Okay. What was the transition for that?
Just the singer left.
Any particular reason, or
Just wanted to do
Had
something
enough.
else at the time. Yeah.
is he still doing stuff?
Yeah, I think he's like he's like writing a few things, trying to get a few things going.
That's
So
pretty cool.
so yeah, it was more at the time, obviously, because I'd written all the lyrics and stuff like that, and it'd gone through a stage where we'd done quite a few practices without him being there, and that,
Okay.
and I was kind of just filling in, and like I'd never sang before properly, apart from just dead monotone voice in my room. And then from that point, the lads was just like, why don't you just give it a go? We'll see how we go. Otherwise, we ain't gonna sing. I'd rather you have a go at it than bring someone else in it's not personal to them, the lyrics and stuff like that. So yeah, I remember doing that the first gig and just absolutely shit myself like the first gig, and it just went from there. Yeah. So I think that was 2018. I think.
So about a year later, then fronting it. Like, was it something you ever struggled with performing? I think I've watched you play before. Can't really remember it.
He's horrific,
It's a good song, isn't it?
He's horrific.
No, like, man, I think
He says he's watched us play.
I know.
They was supporting us.
I know.
He didn't fucking watch us.
I know.
He was at the bar.
Yeah, literally.
So
I was
you
drunk,
haven't
yeah,
watched us play.
no, but I think I do. But like, I think I remember like there being like, was it two synths? Was you playing two synths?
No.
Was it a synth in
Mate,
front of
you, what band are you on about here? You on about what they call Methods, the bald guys?
It's not him, is it?
No, you're in the wrong band here, man.
Was performing something like you always felt come to you naturally? Because I think I remember watching you, and you look quite comfortable. Like you look like, to me, it felt like you'd done it a while, but I suppose you'd only maybe been on the gig for about
3
year.
years,
Yeah, like.
No, when you was there, that was my second gig.
Oh
So
shit! Okay,
that's
yeah.
mad.
Second gig, yeah.
Was that 2018?
I think so, yeah.
Oh Christ!
Yeah, was
It's
it
been 3 years.
It's got a bit about that, yeah.
Wow.
2018, 19? No, 18, yeah. I still been 18, yeah.
Jesus Christ!
But did you support them before you BIM then?
No, that was the night we met Darius.
Yeah, because Darius came on his own, didn't he?
Yeah,
So what dropped out?
kissed our ass a little bit, and then we've been inseparable ever since.
Proper ledge.
Because
no, it wasn't comfortable. In answer to your question, not at all. To start with.
Because you already had a following at that point, didn't you? Like you were selling good tickets and stuff, so
Yeah.
you'd never had to play the shit gigs, really. Or else have you come into like always playing in front of people and
Majority. We have played one gig to 2 people, yeah.
Nice.
nice?
That
In
was-
Birmingham?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that was good. But yeah, we played that one. But apart from that, they've all been good. I think it was more, the following was more really at that point just like family and friends and stuff. And I think it was more coming from Cannock, where
Yeah.
there's not that many bands.
Of course, yeah.
There's a couple of really cool bands there, but there's not that many. So I
Yeah.
think when there is a band from Cannock, people in
Everyone
Cannock
gets
that
behind
like
it,
music
don't
do get behind it.
Oh, okay.
We like our first ever gig we played was, we had like this working men's club that we just hired out,
Sounds horrific.
and we just decided like to do it for our first ever gig and just tell everybody that tickets were free.
Wow.
And they said to us, like, we thought about 30 people would turn up,
Yeah.
and they said to us at the place, like, the cap's 82, like, yeah, that'd be absolutely fine, no problem. And literally ended up with about 110, 120 people rammed in there.
No
It was
way.
just
So
like,
cool.
the stage was that small that we had the drummer and me on the synth on the stage. The singer was on the floor. Literally, like, but yeah, it was cool in the sense it was got such a good reaction.
So you
but
don't play in Cannock off? You haven't played there recently?
Was that in
have you?
Cannock?
That was in
That
Cannock.
was in
yeah.
Cannock, yeah.
No, I've only played that one.
We'll do that again, mate. It's your biggest crowd.
Probably was. And we played at the station once. We played at the station once. Yeah, I think we played at the station once. We did a Christmas gig 2 years ago.
That's quite cool.
That was really cool. Yeah, that was really nice. But,
That's it's interesting, really, because it just feels like a completely different story to like anything we've been through, really. Like,
I think we've kind of... So, did Dharma have a following before you kind of joined, or was it, again,
Like-
did it... I know I've just completely blasted my own question off. But
like when we started the band, like this half the other band, and then me came in. That split up after 1 week. I think they seen me once and was like, he's not playing the fucking synth in this band, so they fucked off. And then there was just me and the singer, and we then started one
Okay.
with like
Oh, okay.
Jonah,
Yeah.
who we knew from like the area, like from seeing him at pubs
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Yeah, so then we started that, and that's when we got called Leedham. So
That's cool.
like I was in Leedham from the start.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
where did the name come from?
So Jonah liked a book called The Dharma Bums.
Okay.
Okay.
We
Think
know a
of
band
it.
called Dharma Bums.
do we?
Yeah.
Yeah, from Starport. You know, Kev. Alicia's dad played bass in there. They did like the old like rockabilly stuff. Don't worry about it, you fucking... You can't even remember his gig and you supported him, so fucking...
Sorry.
Yeah, there's a band called Dharma Bums in Starport.
I can't talk to you. Shut up. Are you me today, man?
I'm here today. It's just the last 4 years I haven't been present.
Yeah, and then
My podcast is later. Stop grilling me.
can I come on for that?
Yes,
I've
mate.
got plenty to come back with it. Yeah, and then I just thought adding the la made it sound a bit, a bit French.
That's pretty
French
cool,
for
actually.
the Dharma.
That's really cool.
Yeah, pretty much. Exactly that.
So what is a Dharma?
A Dharma. Well,
Trail, right?
A llama with a D, bro.
Is it actually a thing, or is it? Like,
It's like it's got no translation in Western language, but it's like a
Wow.
Buddhist teaching.
that's actually really cool.
Yeah,
It's-
that is quite cool.
I do
yeah.
like deep names like that.
Yeah, it's good.
It's not that deep when there's no
Oh.
translation for it.
I know it's interesting because actually it's got a Western start with la, and then the fully untranslatable eastern side with Dharma.
That's exactly what we went for.
Just delve way too deep into it. No, but that's cool that you kind of had that support from the start, because obviously we went through kind of the playing to 2 people, even in
Every
Stourbridge.
night. Still do.
Like Stourbridge, I mean, I think the biggest gig I've ever sold in Stourbridge was my EP launch at the Maverick.
Nice.
The Maverick pub, mate, it's a tiny pub. Best open mic in the world, but tiny pub. There's about 20 people there, and this was in my local. So...
Yeah, we've never had that local support, like you mentioned Cannock, like... We've never had it, like, obviously, I've never had it in Sedgley, you've never had it in...
Again, I don't think we necessarily come from places where they kind of, like, throw... Like, they're desperate for music.
Yeah, they're not search.
I'm not saying they're desperate to come to your gig,
like,
but I'm not saying, like, they're desperate, that's why they came to your gig, but, like, again...
I suppose maybe because people can get to Wolves for a gig, or get to Birmingham from Stourbridge or Sedgley, like...
Again,
I suppose Cannock, you kind of...
How far Cannock's only about? It's only about 25 minutes, 30 minutes from Birmingham, isn't it?
About 30 minutes.
My point's irrelevant then.
Yeah, so it's probably about the same as us, really, but it's nice to have that support from the off... Like, did you feel like that benefited you going forward? Did they kind of stick around?
Yeah, definitely. I think it kind of... The novelty wears off a bit, as in, like... They've come and seen you once or twice.
Yeah.
And they're kind of... Well, we don't want to go and see you again, like...
Yeah.
Because you play a lot, didn't you? Like, we haven't, obviously, lately, or we didn't so much... the last year that we was all still playing and stuff, but to start with you just keep taking everything, don't you? Like, you just keep taking every gig and whatever. It's a novelty in that sense we're off, but then we obviously got a lot of new fans from within Birmingham and stuff, and
Did you ever feel that shift? Because I don't think we ever have really, where like whenever whenever I've played Birmingham, like it's still family and friends. Like I've never had that point where someone's in the crowd to watch me play that I haven't already invited or sold the ticket to, really. Like, obviously you play to people that are there for like another band or another reason, but have you ever felt and had someone come up to you and go, like, really love your tracks, like...
Not so much come up to us and said that. I think it's more like afterwards on Instagram and things like that, the stories and everything.
People sharing you and stuff.
People sharing us and saying, like, love seeing the Dharma last night or whatever, and it was just
Does that come from your success on Spotify, do you reckon?
It was more like when we released Sirens.
Okay.
I think like Steve Pennell was like a massive supporter of it.
Okay.
And he does obviously reviews for Counteract and everything like that. Absolutely great bloke. Great to go for a pint. I think like he obviously supported us quite a lot, and the song did get about a bit.
That's cool.
And I think that's where the first gig after that was when I noticed like some people came in that I think the person on the door came says, they're here to see you, and like I didn't know the work, and that's great, that was a nice feeling that was, because
I think it's when you get to that point that's when momentum starts to snowball as well, doesn't it? So when someone feels like they found you as a band again, they haven't been invited to by you, like I think they'll stumble into and go, yeah, that they're good live as well. Like I like their track, but they're good live, and it was a really good gig because there's like 50 people there. They will talk more. What's the word? They will talk more enthusiastically about you rather than a friend that's been invited by you, wouldn't they? Like, so they might then spread the word to 20 of their friends. Go, oh, saw a great band last night, and I suppose almost because you get talked about as a band rather than a friend of a friend or someone who just plays music, it almost puts more emphasis on like, oh, they're good at what they do. Like, I found them, like they're my little gem, but I want to tell everyone. And
yeah, they're not just telling you that the mate's playing in a band, are they?
Yeah, of course. Like,
oh yeah, watch this band, and so yeah.
And that comes with more clout as well, I suppose, doesn't it? Like it carries more weight for people to then more likely to check you out and listen to you on Spotify as well, isn't it?
They're there for what you provide, aren't they? Because that's all they've been given.
Yeah.
They're not there for you, are they? Initially,
No.
Yeah.
Like you provide them with your service of music.
Yeah.
And then they take that and run with it instead of, oh, he's my mate, I'm going to go and see him because he's my mate, kind of thing. Yeah. Again, I'm not degrading any mates or family who come, because again, they're as crucial as anyone.
Yeah. Like, well, then they're vital, aren't they?
No, exactly. Especially starting out, like you say, you obviously did that show in Cannock, and 110 people, like friends and family. That's mad.
Yeah.
But, like, again, you kind of value. I guess it's valuation in yourself where you kind of go, oh, I must be doing something right because
definitely
someone who I never ever met before gets what I'm
He's
doing.
invested, and they've invested by buying a ticket as well, haven't they? And
even taking the time to post a story.
Yeah.
Like, if I don't like a band, I won't
100%.
get my phone out. Do you know what I mean? But if you like a band, you get your phone out, don't you?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that's massive when people go to gigs and you look back at it and you kind of get to reminisce on the gig through other people taking videos. It's class.
It's quite shocking as well, especially to realise. Like for me, the first time I ever experienced that was I was at I played Dot to Dot Festival in Nottingham.
Okay.
And then I said to the crowd, I was like, does anyone want a cover or an original? And then some guy called out one of my songs. Random guy in Nottingham, and it shocked me. I was like, "You what?" I actually said no, it was a Winterfall.
Oh, okay, nice.
And I literally went, "What?" And he was like, "Play Winterfall." I was like, I said this down the mic. I was like, "How the fuck do you know about Winterfall?" And he's like, "I listen to your stuff." I was like, "Fucking hell!" But I probably made him feel like a twat. Yeah. I was there going, "Fucking, what the fuck are you doing?" Like, that's probably from round here too. Fair. If someone knows your name around here, you're fucking in trouble. Like. But again, I value that like fucking anything, man. Like,
to be fair, we had like a similar one. We supported a band called Spin?
No, I haven't heard them personally.
Liverpool, really cool band, and they it was in Wolverhampton actually.
Nice, great place.
What's it? Is it Lady? No, is that right? It's Lady Bird now. No.
Hummingbird.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Arctic Monkeys played there.
Huh?
And Mark.
Dharma.
Get that in quick.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we were supporting them, and obviously, like, I'm guessing what had happened is that because they've got like they had fans coming to see they're from Liverpool, so it wasn't obviously the mates or anything, and I'm guessing they had researched us because we were supporting. They knew they was watching up, and someone shouted out like, "Play when you're gonna play Sirens."
It's crazy, isn't it?
I just didn't know what to do because I was just be like. In a bit.
Do we give them what they want now?
To be fair, that's similar to I was watching a Ricky Gervais podcast, and he mentioned the first time someone ever asked him for a photo, and like I suppose where you just said like it makes you probably made them feel awkward. Where like he got asked for a photo, he went, "Do you want a fucking photo with me?" But like when he looked back, it was him in shock, going, "Well, why do you want a photo with me?"
Yeah.
But in relation, he's made them go like, "Oh, you bothering me?" Like, but he wasn't that like he meant with all good intentions.
To a certain degree, doesn't it? Like, you kind of like, oh well, why are they so shocked?
But look, I suppose if it was not you and it was Liam Gallagher getting Play Rock and Roll Star, he's gonna go, fucking yeah, T-Right, you should know the track. Like, where you've gone, how would you ever know that? Like,
again, Winterfall was shite.
No, it was a good track, man.
No, it wasn't.
I like the artwork. You look gaunt.
What was the artwork for Winterfall?
It was you in like a tree, and it was like a drawing.
Oh shit! Yeah, I remember that now.
See, I did do my research.
I was gaunt because I was 11 stone then.
I was thinking a picture.
You did a podcast with him, I
The problem is he knows more about me than he knows about you.
It is a picture from when he was 13 as well. He refuses to tell that story there.
Fuck, man, I was 19. How things can change in 4 years.
No, I
4 years and 4 stone.
I just don't believe that I'm ready. Oh, it's the only one I know.
Give me some more puns there.
So, I don't know what to ask you.
What are my songs called?
Nah, man, don't be a devil.
That was poor.
I've really got nothing else.
That was poor, to be fair.
How are you finding being in a band from a COVID perspective? Have you had any rehearsals yet? Because I know we're allowed to rehearse again.
Nah.
Nothing planned?
Yeah, we have. We've got a gig. We've got a gig in May, end of May, 30th of May. So actually this one's supporting a band called Deco. So we need
Sonic Gun.
Yes. Yeah, Sonic Gun. So we need to get back in. So
yeah,
that's hopefully gonna happen in the next couple of weeks.
That's good.
But yeah, it's like the whole COVID situation's a bit of a wormhole, really.
Right, back to part 2. I do apologise for all the cuts. I haven't left my phone on airplane mode and I keep getting calls, so it might not flow very well. But we're back, refreshed, refreshing some water.
Yeah, he's got water. I've got a beer.
Around your, is it around your boom or bomb?
Around your boom, man. Blame it on the boom.
If there's anyone who wants to sponsor us from around your boom, I'm sure.
I'm not gonna lie, like as a company, as a company, I don't feel like Aranja Boom get the credit they deserve because it's normally homeless people holding cans of these.
I'm going to have to mark this as like a sponsored ad on YouTube.
But at 5% and from the shores of Holland, this is refreshing. Drink safe, drink a Ranger Boom.
Jesus.
So let's go into Dharma and COVID then. So obviously I know you live in a flat with your brother's girlfriend.
Yeah.
I personally love your flat. There'll probably be a story coming up later when I first got introduced to your flat. But
he ain't been since.
Yeah, I ain't been invited back. But it's one of them things. When I was in lockdown, I was really grateful to have a garden, and I imagine you was working from home, wasn't you? Was that something you struggled with, like being able to get out, or just feel like? Did you ever feel like you was trapped in a box? And
yeah, I think for like everybody, like, the whole situation was just. I mentioned to you earlier, like just about it being a whole fucking wormhole.
Yeah.
Like you can just literally go down it and yeah, so it was a struggle, as in like we didn't have a garden just to go and sit in or anything.
Yeah.
But living in like the Jewellery Quarter in Birmingham,
Yeah.
there was a lot of parks and stuff around that we could go out and
of course, yeah.
when we could
Get normality, like.
go out there, yeah, and just go and sit there and have a few beers or something like that. So we kind of used there's like a square down from us, like a big grass square. We used that as a garden, so I wouldn't say we were kind of disadvantaged in that way, but it was hard just being in a flat.
I suppose one of the things I was envious of really is because I suppose because you was living with your brother, like, and obviously I think Tom was part of your like social bubble as well, wasn't he? Like, it felt like you could get like, you still had elements of normality that you could really tap into, like, where I was kind of trapped in like the family bubble. Like, the thing I was missing was socialising and friends, but obviously because you're basically like best mates with your brother and you're like, you kind of live quite similar lives, I suppose, really. Like, I suppose you still had that you could kind of tap into. You could still have like, almost like Friday nights out, but couldn't you? Like, yeah. I saw the videos, like, they look quite fun, man. I was like, oh, we should say it.
We managed to make the best of it, to be fair. Like, it was my brother's girlfriend, like, over the first lockdown when it was the summer and everything, and yeah, we just made it a pub, if you like.
Yeah, of course. Like,
so yeah, that was really cool. Obviously, it was hard in the sense that we couldn't see our families.
So I suppose that's the other element. Yeah,
couldn't go and see our mum or our dad or anything like that, or our grandparents.
Yeah,
but we were really lucky in the sense that we had that kind of like mate feeling.
I suppose you got the best of both, really, because you're still with your brother, and it's like your parents and your grandparents weren't going to worry because they knew that you had your older brother like in your corner as well, didn't you? Like, so I suppose it wasn't as stressful as maybe being other end of the spectrum, like say living in like a flat share with like a group of mates and stuff. Like, you wasn't completely isolated from that life, was you really? But
no, yeah, it was great. It was a great balance, bit of a saviour, really. Like the first one, when it was summer and and obviously we could go out for a lot of it as well. It was great. I think it became a lot harder when we had the other one in the winter, though. I think that was just like, the whole seasonal thing.
And it was colder.
See, I was the opposite, really, because the first one, even though the sun was out, I felt like I was trapped. So I'd been like my garden, for instance, but was very much aware that like that was all I could do.
Yeah.
I think by the winter one, I got used to it. Like, I was kind of like, well, I'm just going to sit in my room, watch films, drink whiskey, and maybe write a song. Like, that's kind of what I almost probably felt claustrophobic with on the first one, even though I probably had more freedom. Like, I think I've got used to it and I've kind of adapted to it over time, really. But
okay.
But I suppose that's different for everyone as well, isn't it? Like,
well, yeah, mine was literally the opposite. Like, the start of it was something that had never happened before. It was dead weird, but like you say, I was with my brother. We was just not having to work or anything. Cause at first, it wasn't even work from home. It was just furloughed and everything.
But I suppose as well, like, because you're quite a social person, like, I imagine you don't actually spend much time at your flat because it's city centre Brum. Like, I imagine obviously you go to work, you come back. I imagine you're then normally out, whether it's like Actress and Bishop or you've gone to a gig or something. Like,
yeah.
I suppose, I mean, I'd been unemployed for like 6 months, 8 months before the lockdown happened. So like, I'd already spent enough time in my bedroom, like almost catching up on sleep and not being like the social butterfly I am. But like,
it's a bold term.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely not that. Like, I'm like a social maggot. But like, I suppose I'd very much come from like a pit.
The social maggot.
Like, man, that's what the title's going to be called. I suppose I kind of come from a period of isolation before I then got told I'm in isolation. Well, I suppose maybe the first few months for you went, well, I'm finally don't have to go to work. Like I can kind of stay in and I don't know if you read or whatever. I don't know what you get up to be honest. Don't really care.
He's horrible to you.
No, I actually love him. That's the reason I'm horrible to him. Like,
yeah,
he's actually a sweetheart. Like,
so
he's one of my favourite people in Birmingham.
You just call me a fat shit on a regular basis. So I guess that's a sign of love in the market.
Mate, if I shake your hand and go, I've really missed you. It's a pleasure to see you again. Don't care about you. if I pump into you and go, what is that bandana? Like, there's an element of love behind it.
Did you think that the lockdowns affected you productively from like a musical perspective?
Yeah, massively.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the last, it's been a year now, innit, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like to start with, again, it was all right. I was kind of like writing up ideas and just a few chord progressions on the keyboard and lyrically and stuff like that.
Did you feel an initial wave? Because, you know, if you haven't got to go to work Monday to Friday, did you almost go, I'm going to write, you have all these grand ideas of what you're going to get done in this time, and then day by day just dwindles and dwindles, doesn't it? Like,
yeah, I think I still had experiences and stories that I could talk about and everything like that. Like a lot of the earlier songs of ours and everything that are about kind of just like going out with your mates and just enjoying drinks and going to bars and stuff like that, and that freedom almost. Whereas, so I could still kind of try and write about that, and then
the well runs dry, doesn't it? Like,
it just started pittering off with regards to that experiences, and then just like my whole creativity just became really suppressed the more it went into the winter and everything like that, and it just became like a case of got quite rapidly, it went down. It got to the point where I didn't want to log onto our Instagram and talk to people
because there's no
like
there's no content to post, is that? And you almost don't want to post nothing and post stupid pointless stuff if you feel like everything you've done before has had a purpose and either been a campaign or coming out of a campaign or promoting something. You then don't want to be the guy that's in your bedroom going, hi guys, like, hope you're well, like, you know, it's not content. Me. Yeah, well, it's because I think you mentioned that like you found it fascinating that me and Ryan were able to write and be productive.
100%, yeah.
But I think I almost always write from a point of like reflection in my room at 2 a.m. Like, even when I'm out and I'm going to gigs and I'm coming back, I still never really write about them experiences. I write again from my reflection at 2 a.m. So when I was just doing that every day,
it was just a big gap of 2 a.m, wasn't it, for you?
Yeah, and you know, it's where some of my proudest lyrics have come from over the last year or so. Like, you know, I'm happy to say I've wrote 15, 16 tracks. If I didn't have GarageBand and I didn't have the facility to record, I would have probably gone down that route as well and kind of got stuck in a bubble. And like, I needed Ryan initially to kind of collaborate with. Like, obviously Ryan started writing. We both fell in love with Ryan Adams, and we was like, let's you know, we had nothing else to do. It was like, let's make a Ryan Adams sounding track. Become the spearhead for then doing Ryan's EP. By me taking a backseat but working on the EP was then me going, no, I feel like I've got something to write about now. Like, so I suppose it was maybe us bouncing ideas off each other that was a reason that we could almost kind of free each other, like, creative wise, and
definitely
and go forward. Like,
see, I've hit the well that you've hit now.
Yeah,
like I haven't wrote since Breathe.
Yeah,
that was start of Jan. That's been 3 months, and I'll pick a guitar up and I've got no idea. I've just got absolutely no idea. I just go around the same stuff for 10 minutes, put it down, back on my phone.
But I think we said, even on one of, like, I think it come up on one of the test run podcasts we did, that like, you're lucky because the last song that you wrote is probably Ryan's best so far. So he knows he's got it to come out. He's
I'll show you before you go.
He hasn't released it yet, so he knows he's sitting on it. So it's a great place to be because you know that you've still got that to show the world.
Well, but the issue is now is I'm stuck in that problem where I'm trying to rewrite it. Yeah. I'm trying to write another one. Like Grow Together, I'm so grateful for Grow Together because before that, I mean, We Were Here was out for 3 years and got 600 streams.
Yeah.
Grow Together was out for a month and got over 1,000. Like, that was a massive growth for me.
It was great to see you around the Grow Together period because not only did you look like you had a purpose and like Ryan kind of found his algorithm, which was like, we'll talk about like how you promoted songs in the past as well. Like, your algorithm was messaging people that like Catfish and the Bottommen.
Yeah, it was because it was the closest thing I ever wrote.
Yeah.
Looking back at it now,
it's not
compared to Breathe.
Yeah.
I mean, if I message the same people with Breathe, I probably got a 20% success rate with messaging for Grow Together. I'd probably get a 50% now because it is more that sort of realm.
Yeah.
But again, like you say, my purpose was get that to 1,000.
Yeah.
It's on one. I think it's just hit 1,200 today.
Yeah.
Like again, that's been in the past month and a half.
Yeah.
200 streams. It has dropped, obviously,
Yeah.
but I'm not pushing it as hard. I put a loan out, half-arsed,
Yeah.
completely half-arsed, because I didn't back it as much as I did Grow Together.
Yeah.
And it's done nowhere near as good.
Yeah, you can almost get behind it yourself.
But
Yeah,
you burnt it. Like we did a loan before we even wrote Grow Together.
A loan was October last year.
Yeah.
So we were sat on it going, it's a great track. Grow Together's come out and he's gone, no, this is the one that we're going to release now. He's like, because I really love it. Kind of had that enthusiasm and like, I suppose you get more down, I suppose, the traditional campaign route, don't you? Like, I think you do like maybe like a month build up beforehand and like you'll post like snippets and there'll be a video and there's that sort of element. Like Ryan was almost thinking on his feet, go, well, it's coming out next Friday, I'll go get a video done. So you know, we've drove down the street, done the video, and it comes out the week after. And
well, we did that with I'm Not in Love Now. To be fair,
did you?
That ended up happening like that way. To be fair,
but that's where the magic happens, isn't it? Like
just like in the spirit of the moment kind of things. Like when you were saying with regards to you write better reflecting and everything. Like I am terrible for disregarding things that I would have, say if I'd have written a song that I thought was an absolute banger like a year ago, and then I've written these songs that lyrically feel more contextually right for me now, I'll just be like, nah, fuck that tune.
But
like,
it might be a better song.
Have been a better song, but that's almost a problem of mine, I'd say. Like I always want to be writing something that's relevant to me right now. I'm like, what can I sing on stage that really means everything?
I think that's why I didn't push Alone, to be honest. Because I've been sat in for 3 months. The novelty had worn off me. Grow Together, I did December, and it was out Jan, like, and I'd done it in a day here, and then I was like, right, this is the best track. You didn't like it to start with, did you really? Like,
which one?
Grow Together.
Nah.
Like, again, it was the poppiest thing I'd ever done.
But it was just different to like what I'd felt I'd worked with you on. Almost felt like, okay, this is the sound Ryan's going for. Like, and I suppose from my perspective, I'm there going like, maybe because I had more of a hand in it, I was like, I could hear more of myself in it. So like,
that's probably
it's
what
the stuff
was,
I'm obviously gonna side with.
Whereas Grow Together, I'd done myself.
Classic Mark.
But it's because I've got opinions on music, isn't it? So again, like, I'm the first to make a joke to you about something you release or something, like, and it's not out of maliciousness or it's out of something, it's just because it's just not me. Like, you know, like the same way if I showed you something that I've done recently, you go, fucking hell, that's morbid. Okay, well,
and it is morbid.
Yeah, like they are, like
they're good,
morbid stuff there, and also.
But that comes from like this reflection, like, you know, where you want about like you hone lyrics, like, I suppose maybe because in 5 years' time, if the song gets 40,000-50,000 streams on Spotify, do you sometimes feel like you're censoring what you're saying because you don't want to get held accountable for a lyric or something as well? Is that...
How do you mean?
Like, is there an element of you don't want to say something too personal or too revealing, so you'll censor it, or do you stand by the fact that the more revealing and the more open you are when you write something, the better your lyric is? Or
no, I don't think it's so much that. I think with the revealing things always been quite a thing for me up until the stuff I've thankfully started writing again now. But yeah, I've like been proper guilty of always trying to cover stuff up in metaphors, and I've always told myself, that's really clever the way you've done that and stuff. But then
hinting that you feel in a certain way, but not actually going, this is like
exactly like this is bluntly, I feel shit. Whereas like a song that I've literally just written is the first line is it's a new day, I feel great, I felt a little shit last night, and it's just that blunt. And like I've proper tried to home in on that more, and it's been a bit it's been quite refreshing. And that's only been that's a reflection of the last year and how I've been feeling so suppressed with it, all the creativity and everything. And now,
and maybe it come from that lack of creativity where you've gone, I just want to put my feelings onto paper. And because you don't have all these metaphors or these like sub stories you can kind of deflect the actual meaning of the song from, you've gone, felt shit yesterday, like, you know. But that's the stuff I like to hear from as a songwriter. Like, I'll probably hear that, and as soon as I hear that lyric, I'm gonna go, yeah, that's brilliant. Like it's gonna suck me in. Like I know it is. Like, but I suppose the thing I deal with, I don't know if you've maybe felt the same since making. What I wouldn't say is a transition, but maybe a shift. Is like, I'll wake up the next morning from a dark lyric, and I'll go, oh, like I don't want my family and friends to kind of hear that perspective.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I'm not gonna ever try and censor what I put into a song. Like, if someone wants to put it to a connotation of something else and attach it to something maybe darker than what I was feeling, or something as dark as what I was actually trying to say, like, you want to draw it to it's a song. Like,
yeah.
If you want to say it's about me or it's about a story I've told, then it's up to you to decide. Like, I'm not going to tell you whether it's my personal appearance. Like,
I come from a different perspective, to be fair, because I've always wrote metaphorically.
Yeah.
I've never really gone down that. Again, even Grow Together's not kind of that direct, but I relate more to the metaphorical stuff.
Yeah.
Because
you can take it to your own.
Oh yeah, like I make my own assumptions out of it, and I really enjoy it. Like I think that's from listening to people like Ben Howard.
Yeah.
Because obviously Ben's lyrics, you put Bon Iver, put the lyrics together, it make no sense.
Yeah.
Like they're brilliant lyrics and they work so well.
Yeah.
But like
what does Oats in the Water mean? Like
exactly.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Yeah.
Same with like.
Could it be as simple as him making porridge in the morning? Like genuinely, like it sounds stupid, but it's either that or you can go down a rabbit hole and try and.
Yeah.
You know, like
it's what it is.
He's actually dealing with a gluten intolerance.
I do feel like that direct attack of it kind of does work though. Like in the instance of Ben Howard, Keep Your Head Up. Yeah. He's probably his biggest track, really, isn't it? And look how direct that is. Like that is just bang on the money. Whereas to me, there's a song by Bon Iver called Faith, and there's a lyric that pops out which makes no sense in the context of the song.
Yeah.
And it's so what if I lose? I'm satisfied. Like to me, I'll make my own assumptions out of that.
Because we could draw that into our own current life experience.
Well, I can. So what if I
we
lose?
have no money, but if we can
I'm
write
satisfied
a song,
as long as I do this for the fucking rest of my life. Do you know what I mean? Like no matter how, if that's classed as a loss in someone's eyes, then so what? So what if I lose? I'm satisfied. Like,
see,
you know what I mean?
It's weird because if I'm thinking about like Ryan Adams as an artist, like obviously everyone knows I'm obsessed with him. To compare, say, his last two albums. The Wednesdays album is very much black and white, like, who's going to love me now if not you? And it's like, he's talking about being on a train, and it's literally conversations that he's having with the person that he's no longer with. And it's very much like, this is how I'm feeling, it's as black and white as I'm going to put it. It's basically, it's his diary entry at the end of the day, and he's put it to lyrics.
Yeah.
Compare that to his divorce album, which was Prisoner. Yeah. It probably took me like 2 years before I realised it was a divorce album. Like,
yeah, I mean,
the songs like Haunted House.
Yeah,
and it's about but it's it's about like the eyes on the wall following him as he's walking in like an empty corridor. You only realise 2 years later when you've actually really digested the lyrics that it's probably a picture of his ex-girlfriend whose eyes he's catching on the picture that they've hung up together as she's no longer there. Like, maybe you get more longevity by doing metaphors, and maybe the song ages better. But at the same time, like, it also comes down to the music you put with it as well. Like, Prisoner is a very upbeat album, even though the lyrical content isn't. But people are saying, like, Wednesdays is his most morbid stuff, where actually, like, you're breaking up into the lyrics, like, that's his darkest place. Wednesdays is almost like an apology, and there's other realms into it. Like, it's weird that, like, you can fluctuate as a songwriter, and, maybe in a year's time, if you're feeling more creative, the metaphors will come back out. Like, but some people might prefer the more open-ended stuff, and then some people might prefer the more concise and to the point.
Do you see it as a transition? Like, do you see it as being a permanent transition, or?
Nah, I don't. Like, I was just gonna say then, like, no, I don't see it being like that's it now. I'm just gonna be dead blunt with everything. I fucking love metaphors. Like,
of course.
Going back,
you take pride in them as well. Like, I remember you speak to me and going like, I love the fact that there's like, I think you said to me the once is like, in a line that I've written, there'll be 3 or 4 meanings behind, like, you will choose a certain word because it gives you 2 meanings instead of the one.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you think into that deeply when you're writing?
Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah. Like, certain songs, definitely certain songs. It like, again, it depends like what the song is or whatever. Like, the ones I've got now is literally, that aren't out obviously yet, it's literally what year is what you get. But yeah, definitely, like, think like, if I've written started writing a song in that way where I want each line to have different meanings. I want every line to have different meanings. So like people can literally make their own story off that song.
That's so surgical, but like
I
it's
think
day and night between what we do. Really,
yeah, I think that's why this is great though. Like because I think if I was to say put your track on, say if Ryan had never heard ya, and if he was to hear like because the music behind it's very upbeat and it's very much like that sort of 80s sort of like modern pop sound. If you was to put it into a bracket,
I think the bracket.
I think there is your bracket.
I think it would be very easy for someone to hear it and go, the lyrics are just filling a place where the melodies like. It'd be very easy for people to make that almost wrong preconception.
But I think more people do delve into it than you think. That's what I...
See, I was about to say, I think less people do these days because in the days of having a lyric sheet with your CD or your album, people used to make a thing of reading the lyrics as the song's playing and, you know, you're really taking in the words where we almost skip over phrases now because it fits the melody. Like, but I think you saying it, and again, like, I think you've even just shocked Ryan how much effort you put into your lyrics. The next time he hears a Dharma song,
I'm not saying your lyrics are shit.
No, but like the next, but like it's probably something he's never thought about. He probably associates the music and the melody, and has probably never actually gone into the connotations of the lyrics behind it. Where now I imagine the next time you listen to a Dharma song, you're probably gonna hear a lyric.
I'll listen to it surgically
and maybe think about, well, what else could Chris mean by that?
Is there anything specific that pops out lyrically that you
like
could
your strongest
reel off now?
Not straight to me head. Well, to be fair, a lot of the lyrics within songs also link to other songs as well. So in I'm Not In Love Now, that's the last one that we released, there's like quite a few lines in there that relate to that song called Perfume, a song called Sirens. There are lines that are almost repeated.
That's cool.
Within it.
See, now I'm not going to listen to you the same.
So, so there's a lot that is supposed to be. It's always been for me like one story is what it's telling.
Yeah.
Like,
that's cool.
and that's why I think I want to write the way I'm writing right now.
Yeah.
Because it's coming out the back of lockdown and how I felt in lockdown. So that is the next stage in my story. You know what I mean?
Blunt as the lockdown has
because
been,
again, if people were to look back, say if your career is successful and in 20 years' time people are looking back on this early stuff, they can almost see that like, oh, this was the point where he felt like he couldn't write like himself. So you've changed the narrative. Like you've then gone from being someone who's clever and witty about the words he chooses to then just going black and white. You know, people might even in 20 years' time look back and go, this is where he has just gone. Like, if they want to hear you in your most like innate feelings when you've woke up at 10 in the morning,
most vulnerable, really, I guess.
Yeah, like, but they're going to listen to that as like your autobiography. Where the other stuff they could probably go, oh well, I felt like that about someone or like a certain night out or something like.
But that's probably looking back on it like we look back on the 1975 EPs.
Yeah.
In that kind of like shit, that was when they. I mean, I've heard some of the Drive Like I Do stuff. Obviously, like the early stuff of Robbers, like the early version of Robbers.
Stuff like teen angst and stuff.
Yeah,
like
it
that,
is. But you look back on that and go, shit, they were different people then.
Yeah,
they were different people.
Well, I think like he did it, didn't he, when he come out and did Love It If We Made It, and the first line is fucking in the car shooting heroin. It's just like he's never been that blunt before.
Well, exactly.
You know what I mean,
he called people out in that song, and it caused a stir.
But
that was because
we love that track. Like,
oh yeah, fucking mate, that's such a great track. But the problem is, like, everyone kind of saw them as this. Oh, they kind of do this like nice modern pop. They're not nice modern pop band. It comes out with that fucking bang. Like,
my thing for him was, I didn't like the first album because I felt like it was getting shoved down my throat. Like, I couldn't go anywhere without hearing it. That's
specifically chocolate.
Yeah, but like that. But like I think
though.
Sex was on FIFA or
City. That was, I think.
Yeah. So like, I purposely went. I don't think I like him. I'm pretty sure, like, if I research him, I'm going to find out he's got successful parents. Like, you know, it sounds daft, like...
You weren't disappointed.
But don't forget, the same time that 1975 were getting pushed through Facebook, the Hunter were, I think, might have even been Blossoms, and I think maybe the Amazons were, like, another band that were, like... They basically realised that Facebook promotion was how you build a band. And I literally kept seeing adverts for the 1975 and the Hunter. I've gone, I don't like whoever these people are. Like, I don't probably like who they're signed to. I don't like what money they've been brought into.
Before,
I have. Of course,
just because of how much you've been shoved down through. Like, I hated chocolate when I first heard
But I've probably gone, well, if I can't avoid them the rest of the world can't avoid them. How much budget have they actually got and who they're signed to? Like, I'm seeing it as that. And so I got into second album, like, I'm not gonna lie, Love Me was the one, and it was mainly for the video. So
cool.
I think, as it goes like digga digga digga, and like, as he like almost runs up and like grabs the mic and screams "Love Me," that delivery is what I want from a frontman. Like, it's Scott Weiland, it's Axl Rose, it's basically the people I grew up listening to. Like, he delivered it like that, and almost like Harry Styles at the time. Like, obviously when he was just a guy with a mic, but he was killing it doing rock and roll. Like, I saw that in that version of 1975.
Yeah.
So when the third album come out, we'd probably just become to the point where like I'd see you almost every day, and we'd be driving. Love It If We Made It was a single, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, it was.
And we'd get to the point where like we'd be parked up on lights, and you go, "Put Love It If We Made It on," and you'd hear like the twinkling at the start, and Ron would literally roll up the dial on, like, was it the Corsa at the time of the Astra?
Yeah, mate, it was good speakers in
there.
there.
Yeah, the speakers were good.
Made it, boom.
Yeah, and we would literally scream the opening lyrics, and
probably still would now.
Yeah, and probably wasn't even thinking about like how much the lyrics impact me, but like the way he was singing it and the music that really supported the lyrics behind it. Like, I've gone, I back that. Like, got the album on vinyl. Like, and
that's a proper transition for you there, because like, I guess you would always, like you said before, you would always think 1975 was just this pop music, supported by lyrics and melody. Whereas this one was like, nah, the lyrics are what it's about.
Be My Mistake was a big one for me. I heard that and went.
Telling me like that when I was dead shocked.
But mate, not only did I feel like it's something I could have written, I've then gone, well, I don't need to write it because they've already done it better than I ever will. Like, so I've gone, that's my song. Like, if I was to ever listen to one 1975 song again, for me, it's that one. Like,
it's like I didn't expect Love It If We Made It.
Yeah.
But I kind of went, I can see that's something that they do. What shocked me was I Like America.
Yeah,
when they put that out.
That's literally one of my top.
Yeah,
top
mate, like fucking.
Definitely.
You put that on, I'm like, what the fuck is this? When it first kicks in, I was like, what they've done here? And then it fucking kicks in full band, and you've got the fucking. I don't know whether it's like an 808 underneath it, but in the car, it made the car fucking rattle.
Yeah.
Because
I've seen it live, it's fucking.
Yeah, mate, I did Reading.
You went to Birmingham as well, didn't you?
I went to the Birmingham show as well.
Because I
cried like a baby when they played Falling For You.
I watched. I think it was the time of the second album. I watched like one of their live festival shows, and Matt Healy looks off his tits, like
Transmit.
I think it is.
He was at that point.
And
second album.
I saw that, and there's a part of me like, I'm not gonna lie, I like my frontman a bit damaged. Like, there's a reason I love watching Scott Weiland, because I know what his story is, and when he's great, he's untouchable, mainly because of that reason. And then when he's not so great, you see the difference as a person. I saw it, and there's probably a cynical element of me that's gone, I reckon he's playing on this a bit. Like, I reckon he's had fame off the first two albums, he wants to be this kind of troubled star, and maybe the route they're trying to go down to maybe like get him in the press more and get him like that. Obviously, as soon as you have the lyric of Love It If We Made It on the third album, it makes you go, oh no, he was actually off his tits. Like, I then go back to that performance and go, I still love it though. Like, like it just almost
all one narrative, isn't it?
Like, it just completely makes it real to me, and goes like, whether they've come from a point of privilege or whoever their parents are, like, kid's still an artist, and he is an artist, and you can see that through how broad the releases are. Like, again, like you've talked about, like, is it I Love America or I Hate America?
I Like America.
I Like America. I was nearly there. Like, but to have that on the same album as like I Only Want to Die Sometimes, compare that to Be My Mistake, and then Love It If We Made, like, they're the takeaways I have of the album, and they're probably the foremost, like, I suppose, like, commercial as well as like Sincerity Is Scary. But again, he's obviously definitely an artist, and then I think when you take in the struggles, you realise that he's just a 27, 28-year-old kid that can't deal with the cards he's kind of found himself in, which is, at that point, being on almost every 15-year-old girl's bedroom's poster, like, and having all this expectation to do the next album and be the next band that does like arenas because there's no one else. Like,
well, that's where they've hit the nail on the head, because they've got us involved, but also the young teens.
Yeah.
With the because he's
like, if you can get the teenagers involved and you can get the musicians involved, you're doing something right, and that's the same as Harry Styles since he's gone solo. Like,
I don't think it's on purpose. I just think it's because they are fucking brilliant. Like, I don't think they kind of started a band and went, say what we want to be. We kind of want to get the older guys.
I don't think anything like that's contrived. Like, Because again, when you actually take them as musicians, like especially the drummer and the guitar
George
player,
is ridiculous.
He
like-
produces everything, doesn't he?
Yeah.
George produces.
Like-
He produced all like America, didn't he? Like, did the whole.
like they're incredible. Like, so any band with two members like that, as well as someone as enigmatic as Matt Healy's, you're probably gonna do all right. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it really is the
Yeah.
case, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's because they're good, not because of anything that they ever got pumped into or manufactured into. Like, they are themselves. Like, even when people probably saw the first album as being really pop, like, no one else was doing that music. But fast forward 5 years, and there's a lot of bands on local scenes doing that sort of sound, isn't it? Like, and you'll happily say they're inspiration. Like,
Oh yeah, massive.
Is that sort of the way you kind of want to go in that stadium? Kind of. I guess
Ambitious.
It's like indie pop, isn't it? I guess like.
Yeah, I'd say
Is that sort of what you want? The stadium indie pop kind of direction.
I think so. Yeah, 100%. That is definitely the aim with it all.
Yeah.
And I think it'd work because you get people dancing for a start. Like with Devils, you can dance the Devils, but then obviously you bring in the more blunt stuff. You've still got the lyrical content behind it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think it started as everything that we was writing. We wanted to be kind of anthemic indie pop.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the start, and then obviously it's diverted a little bit now, but that's still going to be the main focus behind it, I'd say. I thought of a line, I'm not in love now, with the dual meaning. There's a line in the chorus which is, you still want to be drowned by courage, like, because it's kind of about coming through a relationship out the other way and starting to allow yourself to have feelings and stuff like that. You can either perceive it as you still want to be drowned by courage, as in you still just want to go and get pissed and forget everything, or you still don't want to be like brave enough to overcome you. Be a bit more courageous in it. So,
or you enjoy a bubble bath on a Sunday.
Or what?
You enjoy a bubble bath on a Sunday.
Well, that's the third one I was thinking. Right,
That's when you wrote it in the bath, listening to Celine Dion, going, "Yeah, drowning courage."
But I think like the
Bath bomb.
artwork on that tune as well was like, we talk about metaphors and everything. I quite like the fact the artwork is a metaphor. So I don't know if you've seen it. It's literally just like a white room, just like a blank white room, and it's just got a photo frame on the wall, and like that is going to be the artwork for the EP. So the idea is like each track is just going to have a different picture. My idea is we are literally stuck in these four walls now, and you're just looking out at different things, and like that picture is your brain, if you like.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the idea with that.
I think what's cool about you guys as a band, and maybe you in particular, is like, what was I going to say?
you are the shittest interviewer
I'm not great, am I?
I've ever dealt
I lost my
with.
train of thought. So you're obviously someone that, as a band, you've had, I'd say your biggest success has come from single pushes. So Devils, I Don't Believe That I'm Ready. Like, I also appreciate that. I think because of the work that you put into the minor details, I can't wait till you do a big EP, or you do like an 8-9 tracker, or you get the chance to do an album. Like, because I think that's where people will pick the gems out. Like, you're good at doing the singles, but I think there's bands in Birmingham that do the singles but would never have the substance to do the other stuff. I feel like you could do the other stuff, and it could probably even end up being your stronger point rather than the singles. Like, you could probably get people in with the singles and then keep them for 20 years based off whether it's you and your keyboard singing a delicate song that you said you wrote 4 or 5 years ago. Like, I definitely think you could still have that to you as well, and I think that's a cool thing to have to you as a songwriter.
That's very kind of you, Mark. Thanks.
Well, it's quite pleasant actually, wasn't it?
He dragged himself back then, to be fair.
Yeah, to be fair, like saying that.
Put my feet up, I'm that relaxed now. I'm like, yeah, done it. I've done my graft.
I don't know how to do this. Yeah, it's like
My tongue tastes a bit like your bum that I've just kissed. But
oh, lovely image. Yeah, like you're saying that, like, because obviously we did the first EP, and there was a tune called Conscious Mind on it, which was one that I wrote before I was in a band. I just wrote on my keyboard, and that
is it like Suspicious Mind by Elvis?
It's very different.
He's like, with conscious minds,
It's-
with the conscious.
No, it's actually about having loads of weird dreams, to be fair. Like, every lyric is just like weird dreams. But that was one people picked out, and like we'd never pushed it. We'd never like mentioned this song. It was just sat there on an EP. Never advertised it on social media or anything. And people was just like picking out that one. I did not know you had a song like this or whatever. And there was a line on it, which was playing football semi-pro and all my clothes had been taken. And like when we've played it once live.
You all semi-pro on Left Wing, bro.
In my dream, and that was like when people actually shouted that line at us when we played it live, and I was just like, how the fuck is someone singing that line? It's such a weird line.
They find it as their gem though, don't they? Like, as like, I don't know, man.
But if they don't know you, they've probably gone, I now feel like Chris likes, like, sounds daft, but if they've gone, oh, he probably played left wing, like, I imagine, like, he did enjoy football, but they've gone, that's the one nugget that we didn't know about him, where if you're talking about like a breakup or a night out, they know that's you anyway, so maybe that little nugget, like, say with Harry Styles, you know, when it's like, and I'm an arrogant son of a bitch who can't admit when he's sorry, like, he realised on the first playthrough that, like, that was the line people were singing, and he's gone, I hope people don't think that lyric's about me, but then at the same time, these fans are probably going, yeah, he probably is an arrogant son of a bitch who can't admit when he's sorry. Like, and it's probably the most honest line, but it's also the most relatable as well, isn't it? Like,
but it's like you pick out Oats in the Water when we talk about Ben Howard. That was never really released, was it? It was obviously down. But still, you find those gems.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, do you find yourself, when you're writing, to kind of aim for singles? Like, do you aim to write a single, or does it just kind of end up that way?
I guess so. I think it's more like I'll write a song or whatever, and then I will sometimes get caught up in the trap if this is something I'd never advise to do, to try and make the lyrics something you can picture people singing back. If you've already because the way I wrote a lot of songs was just like phonetically, I just like shout certain things out. So someone, like, we had a riff playing and I'd just start shouting this melody out, and I wouldn't have any lyrical form, but I'd just be like shouting phonetics like that, and then like I'd be like come up with a word out of it and be like, oh, okay, what does that mean to me? And then I go with that.
Then you go into the verses and
then get into the verses and make your story. But sometimes I've done that and then I've gone, oh no, I could picture someone singing this back better to me. So I try and change it, and that's not authentic then, and it's almost a bit forced. I wouldn't say I go to write singles, but then sometimes I do go back and try and make them. If they come out as a single, great. Yeah. But if they don't, like...
But is that because you're not always working towards like an album? Because obviously you say you've got like Conscious Mind. I can't imagine you thought that was going to be single-esque.
No.
But people latched onto it. So is it because you're not...
If you know you've got 2 singles to release next year, like, are you subconsciously going... If you think it could be an album song, you're then not going to work on it. You're going to go on the next one that you think could be the next
Devils. But if you had a 12-track
or...
album that you were working towards, you'd have tracks like Conscious Mind and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, if I was to... Yeah, if I was saying I was having a 12-track album that was coming out, I would say 3 or 4 of them would be like the song you hear of Dharma, I would say, and then would be a lot of different stuff that is a lot more...
I don't think that's a bad thing, though.
I think to compare this to us, so when we write, because everything we do is so instant, so obviously normally like you might be in a rehearsal room when you've got like the drummer and the guitar players like making a jam or something, like they're going to go, oh, here's a chorus, Chris, like, and then this is where you then have to try and find yourself in the song, find a meaning out of what is essentially just 4 chords and maybe a vibe, like, because everything we do is so personal, so like instant. So if we pick up a guitar, if the verse comes to me probably within the next 20 seconds or after playing the verse, in my head I know that like whatever the next chord progression is going to be, it's probably going to be my chorus, and it's probably where the lyric's going to open out and stretch out to maybe like 8 words instead of like 32 that are in the verse or whatnot. Like, so I suppose we subconsciously are writing for a pop narrative because we'll go, well, obviously you need a chorus, like, so we'll naturally, as we in stream of consciousness, we'll take it to that.
Yeah.
You almost have to go backwards, and you got the music that maybe gets given to you to then go, but I'll shout this. Oh God, what does that mean? Like, well, I suppose we go from verse to a chorus to maybe a bridge and an outro. Like, you have to go chorus and then work backwards, and then again, because maybe the chords aren't yours, you then have to find the meaning that gives you a reason to sing that song. So you have to almost do this like deconstruction and this demapping and...
Yeah, I think like definitely when we did Sirens, that came from me writing this chord progression that I wrote that, and I just wrote that whole song, built it up, and it was just literally went into the studio, and the way like the song started. So I was like, right, okay, I need this kind of drum beat. Gave him, started playing the drum beat.
Yeah.
And then I was like, right, we're just going to go literally chord C, E, F. And then just keep playing there like...
Yeah.
Da, da, da. And we did that with the bass, did that with the guitar. And then I put the synth over it. And then that was kind of how I expected this song that I'd already written without music to go anyway. So that was, I found that really flowed well.
Yeah.
And instead of just trying to like overcomplicate it and come up with different chord progressions, I thought, you know what, it is what it is. The song is 3 chords.
Yeah.
And then I just thought, we'll just make our impact by adding stuff, playing those 3 chords, taking them out in certain bits. So
you know, because it was, I imagine that song felt like your baby in particular, so not the band's baby but yours. When it come good and when you kind of heard your song come alive, was that you then? Did you ever feel like, oh, like, I'm so proud of that song? Like, did you feel more of a pride because you had more of an impact in it than, say, something like another band member would have given you or something in the past? Or
no, I don't think so. I think like for me, the songs have always been the band songs, whether it was a chord progression I came up with, whether it was a guitar riff that Jonah had written and I went over the top of that. It was never. I think my pride always came from the lyrical side of it and the melody side of it. So no, I wouldn't say so, to be fair. No.
Okay, I'm gonna delve into your almost like demoing process now, because one of the best nights out I've had in Birmingham was, who did we go and watch before? It wasn't Felix. It wasn't Margie.
It was at the Dark Horse.
Yeah, it's you at the Dark Horse.
So
I've been to see you. Yeah.
So Tambo had Darius staring him in the eyes, going, "Go on, son!"
So we played a gig at the Dark Horse.
Yeah, man.
Lewis would have been on drums, wouldn't he? Tom Rushton would have been on guitar.
Yeah.
Jaron on bass. Ryan on Sweet Sweet Tambourine. Me on the sexiest lead vocal you've seen since the Dharma at the Sunflower Lounge.
Was that band? There.
It was band, but with Tom.
Okay.
So we've played the Dark Horse. I hadn't seen you or Darius for probably about 4 months, I'd imagine, at that point. So it's been a while. Luckily, because you're sweethearts, you've come to this derelict gig in the arse end of Moseley.
It was indeed.
Oh, mate. But the gig got rescheduled the day before. We were supposed to be playing at fucking Mother's. And next thing you know, they've gone. The next thing you know, Sonic going to message me and going, yeah, you're no longer playing at Mother's, you're playing at the Dark Horse. I was like, oh, sound like... Because we were supposed to be supporting Munich. And, Danny...
Yeah, Danny. Yeah.
And I've gone, oh, still supporting Munich. He's like, no, they're opening the bill now, you're on second. And these random bands you've never heard of headlining. I've gone, what the fuck's going on here? Like, so we've turned up. Obviously, you two sweethearts are there. We've then gone to... What bar we gone to in Moseley?
One Trick Pony.
That's not the one with the venues. The Cuban one, Cuban Embassy.
Oh, then we went to the Bull's Head.
Is that the Cuban one?
Oh yeah, because it's called
where we've seen Felix.
Yeah.
Fantastic place.
Like, we've gone there.
Sounds it.
To be fair, we've had a great time. We've got a cork. We've got a corker of a selfie, haven't we? Me, you, and Darius.
It's blurry as fuck.
Because we were all mullered. I think
Tucky.
Darius, I think.
No, all 3 of us were in it, weren't we?
Oh, so it wasn't a selfie?
Some random person stuck it. Yeah.
Well, then we
as all good photos.
I remember the music was playing really loudly, because it would have been like a Friday night, wouldn't it? I think
it was a Friday night, yeah.
And they're gone. Oh, you because Darius is obviously mates with Matt Goff, isn't he? He's done stuff for the Amazons and everything. And I've gone, fucking put a good word in for me, will you, Darius? Like, let me speak to the lad. Like, it might be my way into like supporting the Amazons. Who knows? Darius has rang him and go, I'm going to put on a posh boy voice here, because I'm telling Darius his story. He's like, oh, yeah, Matt. Like, how are you, brother? And he's gone, obviously, Matt's probably in bed. It's like 12 o'clock like, on a Friday. He's gone, yeah, man, all right. So he's like, just with a guy called... Oh, my accent's changed again. Like,
just speaking your fucking accent, please.
Just with a guy called Mark, yeah. I can't remember the rest of the story. But like, I think I've been past the phone and gone, you all right, Matt, how are you, man? You work with the Amazons, do you? You still mates with them? No, not really. Alright, saying, mate, nice speaking to you.
Again,
Chris,
the most Mark thing.
Yeah, literally, like, Chris has then gone, I'm going to do your accent there.
Yeah.
Oh, boys.
Oh, God.
Oh, boys, you should have come back to my flat. Yeah, man, we'll just get bevies in it.
Where are you from?
Never.
Where are you from in his head?
I don't think I've ever said that sentence.
I don't know.
Well, bevies in it. No.
We've then gone back to Chris's flat. I've gone, fuck me, this is Swanky, on Universal Credit. And it's me, you and Darius, and we sat, and I think Darius has proposed that we all share demos. Darius has got like a 10-year plan. He's like there's going to be version 1 of the new, version 2, version 3. He's like, and then there's going to be like a collaboration with like Ella Air. I don't know. Like, there's like
fucking hair.
I've made that up. Like a lot of my story's bullshit already, to be honest. And there's like a heavy metal phase, and like Darius has planned out his life, and I've gone, fucking hell, like he knows what he's doing. Like he's switched on. Like this is how he should run a band. And then I'm eating the rustlers that I think was stale in about 2016. Like it was that stale. I tried to double microwave it, and like the top bun was just hard, man.
Was it my rustler?
No, I had to get it from that dodgy BP gauge where like that guy with the scar on his face was knocking on the door to get in. Darius's card got declined as well. I remember that.
Yeah, it was a cheap night for me. I had to pay for his fucking rustler.
Did they pay for mine? No. Yeah, give me some credit, man. I'll pay me on rustler. And Darius has like shown us, like, I was like, fuck me, like he knows what he's doing. It's come to you, and you've gone, oh, this is like the 3rd demo of like this song, and then this is going to be out, and we've got like a campaign for it and everything. I was like, fucking hell, this boy knows what he's doing. So I was like, is this how bands are supposed to function? And they've gone, go on then, Mark, what you got? I've gone, you got a guitar? Like, I've picked up this guitar that's out of tune. I've gone, what time is it, boys? Like, we're all mullered. He's like, 2:30. I was like, can I scream? He's like, what do you need to scream? I was like, so I can't reach the fucking notes without it. And I think I played Moving Stars, and I'm like, mate, imagine like I'm in a nice swanky Birmingham
city. You can't get that fucking sober.
Yeah, like exactly, bro. Like, so imagine me on a bender having sang along to probably Mariah Carey all night, like chat shit with these two.
Cuban house.
And bro, I'm literally there screaming Moving Stars at the top of my lungs at 2:30 in the morning. And I've finished, and I've bared my soul. Chris and Darius are like, yeah, man, that's...
I don't get where these accents come from, bro.
Yeah, man.
He's like, yeah, so what you got to picture is, it's going to have this on it as well. There's going to be these drums and stuff.
I was like, imagine Abbey Road's orchestra. I was like, behind me screaming over the top of this great chord progression. It's basically Yellow by Coldplay.
It's early stages, lads. It's early stages. I was like, don't get much earlier than that, mate.
Oh, mine.
Bro, on the fucking on an electric.
Oh, bro, all mine. I had that written for about a year. But like at that point, I've gone, oh, okay, like they've really got their shit together. Like they know what they're doing. It's a great sort. We had a great night, and again, you haven't invited me back since, so it must have been something I did.
I tried the one.
But is your process something?
You can't come out of that and go fucking serious.
No, because I was leading into this question. Like my whole beautiful story was leading into this question because it made me realise how different your process was to me, and that's. Compose yourself, right? We're a professional. We're a professional podcaster.
Just picturing it in my head, like you two just staring and going.
No, but like, bro, like I imagine as well. Like my eyes were shut, and they're probably there going.
It's like when James Corden opens his eyes and begin again, and there's fucking no one there.
Bro, genuinely, I'm facing the fucking microwave. There's just much more rustlers. Him and Darius are sat on a chair, probably like rubbing up against each other. I don't know what they do in their spare time. And I can imagine like they've caught each other's eye while I'm playing, and my voice is cracking, and I'm shagged, and then they're going. I've obviously come around and gone. I probably went to bed that night and gone, fuck me, I'm so much more naturally talented than these two rude boys, and I was probably awful.
He ain't told the full of it either. We did it as like a live lounge, so we played it once. Told us what it's about, and then played it again.
Oh, fucking hell. You did it twice.
In my defence though, it's a fucking great track. It's coming out on my album, 30th of June. There might be a gig with it, there might not. There's a bit of a hoo-ha.
Can't wait to hear it. No, can't wait to hear it.
Honestly, mate,
you wait.
You know when I was on the Veteran Abbey Road Orchestra, mate? Ryan Sparrow and his MIDI keyboards fucking smashing out the bar.
Yeah, listen to this. I must have put 2 hours worth into these strings like they were fucking mint. Put everything else on top, you can't hear the fucking... I put 2 hours worth in.
We've done it and I've gone, I reckon he's going to sound better without the orchestra. And he's gone.
Turn it down in the middle.
No, he's literally turned around to me gone, you can fuck off.
Just gone, oh.
And then we tried going, well, can't hear the guitars. Should we take them out? And we've gone, just fucking leave it, boys. Go on, we're done.
I've just pressed bounce.
So back to professional podcast. So your writing style's obviously very different. So is there an arduous process behind it? So do you go through like different stages of demos before you find what sort of production you want on it, and then do you then continue to tweak and evolve as you go?
Nah, I wouldn't say that much. Like the song doesn't change that much.
Yeah.
It's more adding. So we'll get like that the actual song, the core of the song in a rehearsal room. So whichever way it is, whether I've took this Sirens chord progression to them or whether someone's bought a riff or they've got a track ready or whatever it is, we'll get that to a good standard within. So we could play this song live, if you like. So this song could be now played live, and then we'll go into the studio, and it's more really when you're saying like we have different demos back, so it's more just different mixes. So the song, we create the song with a guy called Andy Gannon, who's like producer, who's kind of like a fifth member of the band, if you like. It's always like really helpful and everything with it. Make the song with him, make it as best as it can be, and then obviously he'll mix it and send it back, and then that's when we all listen to it again, and then we're like, no, I don't like this, or I want this, or whatever, and we'll just reevaluate the whole song. But it's never like, oh, it was like this kind of tune before and then it just became this tune instead. It's always the same song, but it's just changing bits in it. Like.
That's good though, because that reminds me, you know, when Lewis with Janani went into, and they used a really great producer for their track,
They paid a good couple of grand.
the producer refused to put his name on it unless they listened to his advice. So I think he kind of went along. I was like, that intro's too long.
He cut a minute.
That's too waffly. Like, and proper like went like, if you're using me, you use me for what I offer, which is me as a producer. So is that the role where like you trust your producer wholeheartedly to go like, if he thinks that something's not quite right or thinks that something could be added, you'll go with it and you'll let him kind of retweak the core of what you've got?
No, it's not that. It's not that. Like it is in the way, like I've just said. It's like having another member of the band. It's never a case we've got it like, you're gonna do this song. Go watch it. I've listened to it once. We've been playing this song.
Of course,
fucking 6 months.
You're never
going to
take it as gospel.
And we're not going to go in and he's going to listen to it once and go, no, this is what he does. And he never would do that, and he never tries to do that. It is more of a case of we work together and he'll come up with an idea. So what do you think about if we put this in here, or we put an extra pad in this bit just to give it a bit more volume or whatever? And we're like, let's try it.
Of course.
And we'll put it in and then we'll say yes or no.
What's this studio?
Silk Mill Studios, it's called.
I've heard good word.
It's in Stoke.
Where's it based?
Stoke.
Oh, okay.
So in Newcastle, Stoke.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Not new.
Yeah, I know there is.
Not on the time.
Yeah, I've been there actually.
No,
Lauren went to uni there, so I had a bender. And then I went
in
to
the studio.
Nah, the Newcastle Stoke. I went to the Weatherspoons, mate. I had a cracking breakfast. Don't go over.
No.
Uh,
It sound like you. But yeah, no, it's great. I recommend him 100%.
So, this is one of the things that we wanted to get you on, because we feel like you're one of the few people on the scene works full time, obviously as well as pursue music. Do you feel like it has benefits and negatives attached to it?
Yeah. Obviously, benefits wise, money. We've got money to be able to go into the studio with this really talented producer.
Yeah. Take it, he's not cheap. Like.
No, he's not as expensive as.
Okay.
It's probably standard day, right?
Yeah.
It's nothing like what you just said, $2 grand. It's nothing
Yeah.
like that. He's well worth what he charges. So yeah,
well, you'll get in 1975 same production. You really like, without putting you into that sort of pigeonhole. Like, if you're on radio, it's going to sound like you should be on radio.
You've just got
like,
a shit old producer for the money you got.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And we've used him right from back when we had like a song with our old singer. We used him for that, and like obviously at the first time it was just again to the producer, and I've built like a really good relationship with him now to the point that he's a really good mate with me, and which I think
that's great though.
I think that's really important throughout the whole of music. And obviously we're saying about money and stuff, but build relationships and people will know what you like, what you don't like. You'll work better together. So
there's trust as well, isn't there? There's artistic trust. Like you trust him to do what you want, and he believes in himself to serve you what you have in your head, isn't it? Like
it's like because he's obviously in his own band called Bad Love.
Okay.
And he'll send me tracks of his early demos and stuff. So what do you think of this? Which is really nice for a guy that talented to like send stuff to me and just ask like, just have a listen to this, see what you think, or whatever. So it is like that kind of relationship. So sorry, like going back to what you're saying, it's great having the money side of it and everything. I think the one thing that you lose out loads is just time. Like you come back from a full day of work, you're absolutely knackered.
Yeah.
You don't want to fucking sending emails, do you?
I've got to send emails, like update whatever we've got to do on social media when I was actually using it, which I haven't for a while properly. But you've got to do that. You've also then got to be like, right, we haven't got any songs. I need to get some inspiration for a song, and it's like, by the time
have you ever had to turn down a gig or an opportunity because you're in work?
No, I've always if I have to use holiday, I've used holiday. So
see, I've left jobs for gigs.
Yeah.
I've probably been through 4 jobs for gigs to 2 people. I drove down all the way to fucking London, played in a shit fucking cocktail bar to my mate, his missus in the fucking sound tech, and I lost my job for it. Yeah. Because I thought I was promised the world.
You stand by it though, don't you? Like,
well, yeah, fucking do it again. 100% do it again.
Is that oh, I've lost my train of thought again.
Is there like, I don't know, would you have it, I don't know how to describe, would you have it any other way though?
No, I don't think so. Purely because
you're happy finding that balance.
I'm used to this balance, I don't particularly like change that much, to be fair. Like I'm a bit of a sucker for that. Like if something's going well and I'm enjoying it the way it is and stuff, I will try and keep it going that way with regards to that like structure. Like, and it has worked for me. I'll be fucking knackered and stuff, and like if you go and rehearse after work and you get back at like 10 o'clock and eat my dinner or whatever, that's it, isn't it? Like,
but again, I suppose it allows you to be in Birmingham city centre. It allows you to be round the corner from gigs, doesn't it? And I suppose it gives you that element of something that takes us 40 minutes to get to a show. You can roll out of bed, like, I suppose it gives you that as well, doesn't it?
I think like from a personal side and from the band side, being allowed to live in the city like I do now, like personal side, it's been the best thing I've done for my life, because it's just sociable side of it. Then I can go and watch all these brilliant bands that Birmingham have got like on my doorstep on a Monday night. I can get back and go and watch them. Would I come from Cannock on a Monday night when I know I've come back from work and got work in the morning? Probably not. And then with the band as well, like I've got to meet that many people from going to the gigs and stuff. Like started, I just went on my own, and and obviously I get to a lot with Darius and that. And I think that's helped with regards to people.
It puts you in the scene though, doesn't it? And
and then people come and watch you, because they do. People can watch you if you make the effort to go and watch them. Apart from Mark.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't have it any other fucking way. Like.
Would you drop, if you had the option, would you drop money for more time, or would you drop time for more money? For the band, like, you know what I mean? For the band, not like because you want to be a millionaire, but if you could gain more time, but you couldn't put as much money into it as you could.
That one.
You would,
like more time.
You'd want more time over more money.
Yeah.
See, that's kind of where our perspective is. Because obviously,
but we take this full end sacrifice of going no money all the time. Like,
like I dropped out of work last March to go full music. And then obviously fucking lockdown hit, and then and I probably haven't utilised the time as well as I could, but I've done things that I wouldn't have done previously. I mean, we wrote probably wrote 20 odd tracks. I wouldn't have done that if I was working. I wasn't writing when I was working. I was doing nothing.
It's hard, isn't it? Like,
it's shit.
I don't think I've seen you do a gig out of town. Like, I don't think you've gone to Manchester or Liverpool or anything, have you?
Have you gone to Manchester?
Have you played a show?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was going to just say, like, have you got plans to do so, or have you got like contacts that you're working towards building that sort of foundation? How did it come about? Obviously, now you've told me you got that gig. Like,
Manchester was to do Scruff of the Neck. So we'd done a couple of shows with Scruff of the Neck when they was then again, I haven't seen any gigs, but I haven't seen it so much recently. But they was doing quite a few shows in Birmingham, and this was when we were really new to the scene and everything, and we didn't really have any contacts in regards to promotion companies or anything. And we did a couple with them, and they obviously offered us one in Manchester as well. So we did that, and then we were supposed to go on tour with the new.
Oh shit! Yeah, of course.
Yeah, she was all booked up and everything, wasn't it?
Yeah, the week that lockdown happened, that was the week we was on tour.
That was looking to be a good tour as well, from what I saw.
We was going to go to Brighton to watch it.
Yeah, we were going to come down.
I was going to go and see some uni mates, and we was going to because then you was going to go to.
I was going
Liverpool.
to Liverpool because I was playing in Liverpool.
Yeah.
You didn't have a date in Liverpool, did you? I thought you had it.
Lewis was there for some reason. You was going to take Lewis with you?
No, Lewis was playing for Alex.
Yeah.
And I was supporting Alex, and then we were going to go up to Glasgow for the Ginani show.
Was it that?
Was it Ginani?
No, it wasn't Ginani at that point.
No, it wasn't. But he had a show. He was going to watch someone, I think.
No, it was Alex again. I think Alex had two dates because Alex had a mini tour.
Yeah.
I think the idea was we were going to go down to see you guys.
No, it was me up to Liverpool to play. Then I couldn't go to Glasgow with Lou because I was going to come down to watch you guys. But then my Liverpool gig got cancelled, and obviously the tour got cancelled.
Yeah.
So because we did plan to go to Brighton.
See, I would have seen you.
Same day as well.
You had actually planned to come on.
I was supposed to fucking drive to Liverpool.
You'd probably have to buy my ticket, but I'd come and see.
Yeah, I think it was Brighton, London, Derby, and Birmingham.
Hypothetically, do you reckon they'd have gone well? Do you reckon there'd have been people at each gig, and do you reckon you'd have gone down well, or do you reckon you would? Yeah,
I'd like to think so. If there were people there, I'd like to think we've gone down quite well. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think always the worries is like when you're going down to cities that you haven't ventured to before. Like I know Darius has got connections in Brighton. Did you have connections in like Derby?
Oh no. So like as far as ticket sales, as in go down that way.
Yeah.
No.
Who
knows? But there's a few people I knew that had like messaged on Instagram that lived in London that were gonna.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. There's a couple there, but that was it. So I don't know.
No.
At all with regards to numbers, but I'd like to think we've gone down well.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to like again. Cause I think that's the thing. I think that's the thing I forgot was. I've almost forgot since lockdown how many bands were on the cusp of being able to go out on tour from Birmingham, and like again, I completely forgot that Alex was doing it.
Yeah.
Obviously, you was going to be in Liverpool. Like that was a big thing for you, and even me witnessing you as a friend, like that was a big thing. Yeah.
With a fucking band.
Yeah.
On a tour.
And the same way that like it was mad that you guys were doing it. Obviously with Nev as well. Like.
Who else was on that tour with you? Wasn't there three of you?
No, just us in there.
Did you have local supports for the other tour?
Yeah, there was local support at each one.
Yeah.
And then in Birmingham it was going to be Miriam Adams.
Okay.
Because like I suppose looking back, like I've completely forgot about that, but it was actually quite an optimistic time for the scene, really. Like, especially with people that I class as friends as well. Like again, waiting for you to get a decent opportunity, like, and then obviously you guys, like.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that whole thing actually, but obviously it just makes it even more fucking wounding. Like, because when they were cancelled, obviously because it was like, it's 2 week lockdown. Shit, the gigs have fell in the 2 weeks. Like,
that's alright, because we can book up.
Yeah, I suppose even people were thinking like, we've just timed it wrong. We're actually in hindsight, any gig you'd have booked for the next year would have gone to shit, wouldn't it? So
yeah, I think our plan was to redo it in October. And,
I mean that's mad. Isn't it?
Were you putting plans to try and do it again? Obviously in vaccine world and. No, you might be able to get it on the cards. Do you reckon you'll try and do the exact same?
I think the idea is still there. We haven't really spoke about it that much.
Yeah,
it's probably on the back burner more than anything, really.
But I think.
I'd like to think it's fair that you should be able to go out and try and do that tour again, and hopefully the promoters give you the chance to prove that you can fucking do it as well. Innit? Like,
it wasn't. You didn't have a promoter, did you? I thought it was all self.
Yeah, well, it was all mainly through Darius and stuff like that.
Oh shit! Okay, so
I'm pretty sure Darius self-organised it.
There's no reason you can't really get the. I suppose the things in place.
Yes, Teeks was involved.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
Teeks and Darius who sorted it all out.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, it was Teeks that was doing it with Darius, and obviously we came onto it, asked us to go with them, and then just.
I mean, that's a bold move for like a local band.
Because again, I think you think in terms of safety, get with the promoter, so they'll take the financial flack. You're going to turn up, and if they haven't sold the tickets, it's on them as well. So you kind of play to an empty room, but you're not losing anything financially. I mean, like,
but that was a bold,
like
it's which no one had done.
No, like, but you might hopefully pave the way that inspires me and him to do it in 6 months' time, or you know.
We had a plan, didn't we? We were just going to live in my car for 3 weeks of every month, and just.
We were going to do an open mic night tour.
Yeah.
And the idea was we were going to try and find an open mic night in like say 4 in like one city like Liverpool. Do it for 4 nights, busk in the daytime to get us like beer money and like Greg's money, and then sleep in the car. And then after like 4 days, come like to say Derby or something, do like 3 open mics there, then come back like home. So like, we was going to try and do it that way because no one would book us. But if we could sell a CD at an open mic night for £2 and it gets you 15 quid fuel or something, we was going to do it like that, wouldn't we?
Yeah, fucking sick. Fair play to you.
Rock and roll, innit?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see it happening.
No, I don't see that happening either, but it's nice to dream.
It's a great idea.
I suppose we're going to start wrapping up now because I imagine this part 2 is already way over an hour.
We're an hour and 43 minutes in.
So I've got a couple of questions to ask you. So, in a year's time, where do you see Dharma? Do you see like releases on the horizon? What venue would you like to see yourself in?
Disregarding COVID, so COVID's done.
Yeah. I imagine that's in the past and everything's coming back to normal. Like, is there somewhere you'd like to see yourself in a year's time? Have you got a time frame on it, or?
Yeah, I mean, we did have like this plan of how we was going to play these venues and build up to like. We wanted, our first goal was to sell out like O2 Institute 3, for example, like 300
cool venue.
room, like the cool venue. We wanted to. It's like having the backstage and stuff in it and everything. Like walking onto the stage and stuff like that. That was kind of our goal for last year, if you like. So that's it with regards to gigs. Obviously, see how gigs go when we go back. Like, are they going to be socially distanced? Are they going to be whatever? So we've got a plan around that. Releases, we had planned to have the second EP out now. Which obviously we've got. I'm Not in Love Now. That's still going to be the first song on it. The rest of the EP has just been deferred quite a lot, and it's changed for what it would have been. So like as I was saying earlier, like I just keep trying to live like in the moment with my lyrics and stuff. So all the stuff that I'm writing now seems a lot more relevant to me and hopefully other people with regards to it's how I've been feeling through lockdown, and there's a lot of feelings I'm hoping will resonate with people from that. So the songs that will be on that are completely different to the songs that would have been on it. Will the songs that we already had ready for it be out after that? Maybe, but that's the plan. I want to get that body of music out. I want that story. I want that year of my life in there, like for selfish reasons as well as for people to hear and everything.
But that's why you write, for me. Like, you only write because you're selfish. Like, that's how I see it anyway. Like, because you feel like you've got something to say, isn't it? And
so I think that's my plan. If providing everything's open up again, like get back in the studio, get these new tunes done, and
that's great, man. Okay, this one's a bit more like up and down. So, what is your best moment in music so far?
Best moment in music. When we sold out the Sunflower Lounge, I'd say. I think that's always a nice. Yeah, that's always a nice.
It's a nice little marker in it.
Yeah, so we sold out the Sunflower Lounge, and that was just a great gig. Like, I'd say we're a lot better live band than we were then. Like now, like even when we did the seated gig when we supported the new in October, I thought like as a performance wise we were a lot better now. Me mainly, I'd say, and the way the show's structured, but with regards to the actual occasion and just like. Yeah, full room at the Sunflower Lounge, packed out, everyone's in there dead sweaty and stuff, and you're just playing your tunes to people. Yeah,
of course. And
that was when we played Conscious Mind, and some people singing that line back. That I'd say that was the best.
Sick. Worst moment in music?
The last year.
Yeah,
to be fair, like obviously, I
think that proves how hard this year has actually been. Like, because to me, because I haven't struggled that much, I'd go to like the realm of like a gig where like 2 people played, but. Still a gig in it, like, so.
Yeah, I've had a funny moment on stage where we was playing. It was the BBC introducing showcase thing.
Yeah,
and we was playing on that, and like the synth's obviously got the arpeggio on, and it gives you 2 different sounds. So if it's not on, it's this lovely pad that I've got in Sirens. If it's on, it's got this drum beat behind it, which is like so I've like done an interlude that goes into Sirens, and it's all these nice loads of pads and bells and all this kind of stuff. And the way we've done it is that it like snaps off, a drum beat intro comes in for Sirens, and then I have to change my setting over to put the next lovely pad on. So he's done his drum beat, I've changed it over, hit my first chord, and there's this fucking drum beat going off its tits. And I'm just like there on stage, like, the fuck are you doing looking at the drummer behind me going, what are you doing? He's just looking at me like, what's on about? And then I've just realised, oh shit. Turned that off. So, yeah, that was the most embarrassing moment.
Yeah,
I'd say.
that's brilliant. Was there another question we asked? I thought there was 3.
You're just useless.
I'll give you another one. This is maybe going into like the mental health element because it's something we haven't really touched on.
Okay.
Really in this episode of it. Do you ever feel a growing concern to get stuff done by a certain time? Like, do you ever feel like the clock is ticking? Do you feel like have you maybe almost set yourself a deadline of like I've got to be here in 5 years, otherwise I'm going to pack it in, or is it something you're always going to do? Or
yeah, like that. Definitely, I think that's always a feeling with me. Like a line in.
You're only 17, aren't you?
Yeah, so I want it all done by 18.
Yeah. Don't blame me, bro.
But like, there's a line in one of the new songs which literally says, "I feel like my 20s just aren't lasting that long."
Yeah.
And like, so
I think
that sums it up. Really.
That is a great.
Yeah, I get that.
I was set 30 as mine.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'd like. I want to be out on a national tour.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
How old are you now?
28. Yeah. So
it's one of them, isn't it? Because I think, you know, in terms of like what people conventionally think, like in terms of like, oh, you should be married with a kid and all that by like 30, really. Like, I think there's an element of sacrifice you have to make to do music. Like, I think that completely goes on the back burner until, you know, you feel like you're happy enough in your own, like personal, like professional life to do that sort of thing. You know, like, do you ever feel like you'd get to a point where you give up? Because we've had these conversations where we've said like, mate, I'd rather be nearly dead and bloated and under a train, but as long as I got my acoustic guitar, like, I'd be happier than if I ever went, never going to write again, never going to do another gig. Like, do you feel like you might make that decision at some point, or do you feel like do you feel like it's always in you to write? And
yeah, so I think it's always going to be in me. I think like I've said, how it's affected me in myself being suppressed creatively over the last year. Like, imagine if you just do that for good
for the rest of your life.
Mate, well, people have said that to me, like going like, oh, I can't even, like they're going like, at least you're lucky because you've got an instrument. Like, I think the people that maybe work all day and come home and they just try and find something on TV to get them to bedtime, I think they're the people that struggle with lockdown the most, because they maybe realise that there isn't a substance that actually makes them happy that gets them through day-to-day life. Is that like, where again, like, I always think like, if there's a power cut, first thing I'm doing is pick up a guitar. Like,
it's like I used to say to my dad, and I used to get always like absolutely berated for it, was he always used to moan at me for doing music. No, to be fair, Dad never moaned at me. I've had problems with Mum and that side of the family who've moaned about me doing music, blah blah blah. But I always used to say to him, I would take £1 a day to play to 10,000 people than £10,000 to sit in an office. Like, that's genuinely how strongly I feel about it.
Yeah.
Again, I'm happy enough. Got this flat.
Yeah.
I've got my setup there, and I can do what I need to do.
Yeah.
Like, I'd take that over working, I don't know, in the fucking Shard.
Yeah.
In London, in a nice £1 million townhouse.
I said that to my family the other day. They went, obviously giving me like the lecture of life, and I said something along the lines of, if you could offer me a cushy office job now, I've done 25 grand in the next year, or I have the exact same year I've just had, but I then support the Amazons at the O2 Academy in Birmingham, not going to get paid a penny from it, but it could be the first real opportunity I have to show what I can do. So like, I'm taking that every day of the week. I was like, I'll take that even if I've got to wait 7 years for it, and I'd still live this life for that one moment in 7 years. So
do you feel that strongly about it? Like, on that sort of... Because sometimes we can seem delusional.
We're very ride or die. We buy...
I guess so,
our thought process. Like, our lives won't start until we do music, where...
Which I'm not saying our way's the right way.
No, but do you maybe see a life outside of music as well, and do you think you could be happy and content?
I don't think about it really at the minute.
Yeah.
Don't want to think about it at the minute, if you know what I mean. But
that's probably a passion from a passion point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like with obviously the last year, that's sometimes made me think, well, maybe I'm gonna have to just fucking knock it on the head at some point. Yeah. But I ain't ready to do that now.
No, I don't fucking blame you either.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're fucking onto something good.
Yeah.
Don't fucking...
And again, people care about your music. People care about what you do. You've got the ability to do so. And hopefully all that happens over the next few years is that the ability to do so becomes more frequent, more consistent to more people in more cities, isn't it? That's the hope of growth, isn't it? That's
yeah.
And then I think we'll end with one last question, which is, has there ever been a time?
You said that fucking last one.
Yeah, I know, but when I was like, I swear we have 3.
Is this the third?
Yeah, I made the third up because I was vamping, I was improvising, a bit of jazz. But the fourth and last question is, has there been a time in your life where you've maybe been in a low patch where you felt like music has really brought you out of that slumber, or it's been a track that's got you through a breakup or an argument, or...
Yeah, definitely. I think the last 3 years of my life, it's like a big transition from being in a relationship that I was in for a long time and coming out of that, writing songs about that situation. Yeah, there might have been hidden metaphors, but to me, they were there as blunt as fucking day. You know what I mean?
Does listening to music give you the same feeling as well? Like, would listening to a band get you
any specific record?
I think obviously not in 75's upbeat stuff and that is always good if I'm feeling shit. And I think that's why I owe a lot to that band, not just because I've took an influence from it, because the way it's made me feel like it's fucking soundtracks. 7-8 years of my life, you know what I mean? But then again, like, I love like ambience music as well. Okay. So yeah, I just think that will help calm me down if I'm feeling a bit anxious about something. Like, I'll put that on in the shower. Something like my brother will walk past, what the fuck's going on in there? What's he listening to?
He's having a wank.
It's just like, I don't know. It's just something. It's all very like nice pads, nice synths and stuff like that. That just does something in my brain. Like it just, I don't know, just switches me into the music world rather than giving a fuck about what's going on. Like,
so that's kind of what made me weirdly growing.
Yeah,
I fucking love Dave. Like Dave,
Dave's sick, man.
Mate, he's a fucking anomaly.
Yeah,
but I can sit and listen to the whole album of Psychodrama. Yeah, and just be like, I'm gone. I
was in Robbie's car the other day. He was driving to football training. Still play, mate. Obviously, he used to play for Wolves.
He said he took him hour and 54 to fucking drop that.
I think I dropped in the Harry Potter.
Yeah, but you called me out for fucking Tom Walker.
But we was in the car and I'm there taking the piss out of Robbie's music and he skips it. Dave comes on. He goes, have you ever heard Dave? I was like, I only ever hear Dave in your car. And I was like, and I love it every time it's on. And he's gone, but this song's brilliant. And it's like, is it called something like How I Met My Ex or something?
Is it the one he does about his...
about 7 minutes long and it's just...
She's fucking someone else, isn't she? I don't know.
But like, he talks about the principal...
Leslie? That's what it's called.
No, this is another song. It's like, it's generally called something like The Day I Met My Ex or something.
Is it Leslie?
Well, whatever it is, genuinely, like...
It doesn't sound like a name.
Me and Robbie have sat in silence for the 6.5 minutes his track's on, and all we've done is just listen to the lyrics. As soon as it's finished, I've turned around and gone, that was fucking good, wasn't it? And he's like, yeah.
Right,
like,
that happened to me once. I was watching...
Mark Live
watching Glass... Fucking... Nah, it was very hard to talk over, that was. Very loud. We was watching London Grammar at Glastonbury and was like sat there and we just decided to have our own little fucking Glastonbury because we hadn't got tickets and we were just going to watch all the acts we wanted to. And obviously we were just getting like pissed, just having a laugh, dancing about and everything. And then London Grammar came on and did their set, and from the second she started her first song, we literally just sat there for half an hour and just finished it. It was like, fucking hell.
That's
like,
when you know someone's good.
Her voice is angelic.
It's incredible. It's like, it's the purest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, no dramas, new stuff, bro.
That ain't pure. We'll wrap it up.
Yeah, cool. I must say it's been a pleasure to have you on. Like,
thank you for having me, guys.
You're someone I'd put in the bracket of like, you know, when you're on about like music is the reason you make certain friends. Like, Ryan's one of the people I'm most thankful for, like, meeting through music. You're probably up there as well. Like, you're probably in my top 47. Like, no,
50, like, she hasn't got 40.
Nah, genuinely, like, probably, you know, you're probably in their top 3, top 4 people. Like, I'm grateful to have met through music.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah.
The conversations we have are they can be as deep as someone I've known for fucking 15, 20 years because we obviously have similar passions. So it's been great to have you on, man. It's great to hear more of your story because I didn't actually quite know the ins and outs. So it's been great for you to shed some light on that, and then you can do all the YouTubey stuff if you want.
Fucking hell, it's because he can't talk to a camera. Have you seen him do the fucking...
But if I look to that camera, bro, I'm going to have one eye facing that way and one eye facing that way, man. Like,
we did like a promo video. Yeah, mate, look how much he just doesn't give a shit. Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed that.
I'm here to sell records. My records.
Don't fucking listen to him. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much, Chris, for coming on. I really appreciate you coming on, mate. Coming out of the worldwide Birmingham.
There we go.
To fucking Waterloo.
Took 35 minutes.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you've enjoyed it. Share it on your stories. Do whatever you have to.
So
Fuck off. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one.